I got your bitch. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. They ought to be ashamed. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Look at here. There you go. They're out here sharing marijuana. Look at here. There you go. The same old nasty ass people from last week. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Goddamn right, bitch. Goddamn right, bitch. Goddamn right, bitch. Corner doing dope. 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 Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Look at here. There you go. They're out here sharing marijuana. Look at here. There you go. The same old nasty ass people from last week. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Dope. Goddamn
Yeah. What the hell? Look at that. What the hell did that happen? What the hell did you do, Jerry? Hey, welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. How did that happen, Jerry? Hey, I don't know what the hell happened there. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Barry on Deck. Actually, this is Jerry on Deck on Barry on Deck on the patio. That's what we call it when we do
Jerry
shows.
on Barry's deck.
Yeah, welcome to the Wainers. Welcome to the Deckheads. This is fun, dude. For those of you that don't know who this man is, let me introduce him. He is stand-up comedian, what would you call it? A content creator?
Yeah, digital content creator.
Okay, a digital content creator, a wonderful human being, and a good buddy of mine, Jerry Wayne Longmire in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Jerry Wayne Longmire. I don't know if there's applause going. You can't hear it there. They can hear it, but you can't hear it. What's up, dude?
Thanks for having me, brother.
Dude, I'm so excited about this. I usually only do this like once a month with Trey, but I've been wanting to do it more.
Yeah.
Because these are fun shows.
Is that mic picking up okay for me there?
Oh, yeah. Here, look. I usually do a mic check on the phone. I usually just pick up one of the... actually, you know what? I normally go to Twitch and listen. Let me go to YouTube.
Go to Twitch.
Here, look. Say something. Do a mic check.
Check 1, check 2, check 3, check 4. Oh, we're clear as a bell.
Yeah, that sounds perfect, man.
Voice gets.
All right, so I'm gonna turn that down, and then you, if you want, I'll look at the chat here. So, yeah. So normally I've been doing these like once a month, just because it's a change of pace for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm coming up actually Saturday.
Well, your other show's so fast-paced and frenetic and...
Yes. Oh, you've watched one.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
like 1.5. But
I don't blame you.
try to get a feel for it.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
anything about sports. I watch it. But I told you because I'm trying to do some sports writing and stuff for the racing industry.
Yep.
For race cars and whatnot. And I was like, man, so I started watching some of them because I was like, I just kind of want to get a feel for the different pace of what this is, because they're kind of toying with the idea of letting me call some races. Some dirt
Oh,
races
wait. So you're not just okay. Well, let's back up. So you're a big car guy.
Yeah.
A big racing guy. We're gonna get into that when we get into the truck astrology and all that. But so you were approached about. Okay. Well, let's start with you have a deal with.
I work with World Racing Group.
Okay.
Who owns the World of Outlaws race series, which is like sprint cars and midgets. It's all dirt track racing.
Wait. Midget.
You're allowed to say midgets. in
No,
racing.
midget car.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was just like a bunch of little people running around the track, and y'all were just like,
outlaw
"Look
midgets."
at him go!" It's kind of like when they do like ostrich races at the horse track. And you guys just throw out a bunch of little people like, "Go!" And then that would be
It's outlaw midgets. We get Clinton Shorter. We put a bandana on him. Feed
No,
him
no,
some whiskey and make him run around the
Clinton
track.
Shorter is a little person and a comic. That's hilarious.
He's a fantastic little human being. I just like him.
He is. He's great. That's hilarious, dude. Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, World Racing Group, they sanction like almost every dirt track in the United States and a bunch of them overseas.
Okay.
So they're the old head that have been sticking with this game for a long time, and they approached me back in September last year about going to some events, doing some meet and greets, that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
They all hate the word as much as I do too, but my checks were saying influencer, which we're all around. Me and the guys at the racetrack were all walking around going, "Are you an influencer? I'm an influencer. You an influencer? Let's go out here and influence some
Let's go influence some shit."
But that's evolved. So we've had so much fun doing these events. It's evolved into something where they're wanting me to be a little more involved. And I certainly, it's kind of a dream come true for me. I'm a big race nut, and especially a dirt track fan since I was a kid. So they're letting me do some stuff like create some content and maybe do some racing reviews from the
cool
previous week's races and stuff like that. And we've done some interviews on their streaming service, and I've done some stuff for their streaming service. So we're kind of in the middle of all that right now. They're going to, a massive. They just upgraded Dirt Vision, their streaming service. So,
dude, for a car guy, that's got to just be.
It's so much fun, bro. I get paid to go to the races, man. Are you kidding me? Like Dude,
Yeah.
the last group of races I went to before, we had so much fun that weekend. I mean, don't get me wrong, stand-up is my first and it is my true love.
Okay.
But, if I got to give up a
I was
Friday and a
about to ask
Saturday
you.
every once in a while
Yeah.
to go have some fun at the racetrack.
Well,
man,
I was
I'm
about to
gonna do
ask
it.
you if you had to give one up.
Yeah.
Which one you giving up?
If I had to give one up?
Yeah.
Oh, it would.
Like if somebody came to you and said, all right, you can earn a living doing stand-up, or you can earn a living doing this, doing, being involved in racing, calling races, and doing what you're doing in the racing industry.
Man,
And-
I probably wouldn't choose the racing stuff just because stand-up is so near and dear to my heart.
Gotcha.
It's the bottom seed that fed everything.
Yep. Yep. No, that makes a ton of sense.
And I'm a stand-up comic. At every point in my life, at every minute in my life, I respond as a stand-up comic. I live as a
Everybody
comedian.
always asks me that in radio. They'd be like, well, are you a radio guy that does stand-up, or are you a stand-up guy that does radio? Because I started both, like, really about the same time.
Yeah.
It was really in the same year. I started stand-up in, like, April, and then I got into radio in September of the same year.
Oh,
And so people were like, whoa, which one are you? And I was like, man, I've wanted to be a stand-up since I was 8 years old. I wanted to be a comic. Well, I watched Bill Cosby himself and was like, I knew I was funny. Like, I'd tell stories at the kitchen table when I was 7 years old. I'd come home from school and tell stories and make my family laugh. And I love that. And plus, when you're at that age, making my family laugh, because, there would be like turmoil and shit. And that was how you coped
Yeah, bro. You preach to the
that's-
choir. My mom was what they called. I'm a mama's boy. Me and my mom were very
Yep,
close,
same.
very tight. But my mom was what back in the '80s they called it a manic depressive, but
Yeah.
it's basically depression.
It's coping, yeah.
Chemical imbalances and whatnot. But I could make her laugh, and that had value to me as a kid. Yeah, I was the one I could make her laugh, man, all the time.
Yep.
I remember I used to watch. So we were still kind of Pentecostal at the time, so we didn't do a lot of like TV and stuff like that. But
Oh, really?
But my uncle had cable, and
Oh.
I would go and sit in his bedroom and watch their TV, and I would watch Carolines and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
And
Caroline's on Broadway, right?
I would watch John Panette, and I would learn his routines, and then I would do them for my mom and her friends, and my mom and other family members and stuff. I knew John Panette's entire act front and back by the time I was like 14.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's me. I memorized Bill Cosby himself, and I would do it in the living room for my mom first, and her friends would come over, and I'd do it for her, and that's where, I think that's a lot of us.
But it still never struck me that, I mean, I grew up, we grew up kind of poor in East Texas, and it was just sort of like, I always say that, I know you've heard me say this on stage, but we were kind of like, when I would pick things up with my left hand, my grandparents would take it out of my left hand and put it in my right hand, because they didn't want me to be left-handed, not be able to get a good job in a machine shop, because all the tools are right-handed. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even
I'm
bash
sorry,
them.
that's the most country shit I've ever heard in my whole life.
But I can't even bash them because they were working with what they knew, and to them, that was about
That's
as good a
planning
job
ahead,
you
yeah,
gonna get, son.
yeah. Dad was like, "Hey, we're looking out for you."
I remember my
they had your
dad-
best interest at heart, because that's what they knew.
I signed up for some extra art. I was real good at art and drawing, and my dad was like,
Are you
"Well, what
still, by the way? Are you
Yeah, a little
still?
bit, not as much. I damaged my hand pretty bad, so I can't draw as much as I used to. But I was getting ready. I was looking at. We were talking about college, you
Uh-huh.
know, and I was in high school, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to school and be a graphic designer, go do art." And my dad, I just remember my dad like, "Ain't nobody ever made no money at art." I was like, well, what about David Bowie? And he goes, you ain't no David Bowie. You know, like, just like, so like him, it was just a non sequitur. You know what I mean? This doesn't go
You
anywhere.
just toss that out.
You ever heard that term starving artist? There's a reason for that. Well, you don't like to starve. You like food, son. You need to go get you a good job in the oil field.
No one's ever made any money at art.
Ain't nobody made no money
Ever.
at art,
Dude, that is...
he's come around these days by and large, but now he's very much a chase your dreams kind of dude as he's softened and gotten older. But
God, that's
back
hilarious.
then, ain't nobody made no money at art, you know?
Oh, my... dude, that sounds like some shit my dad would say.
So it just never struck me that it was a job that you could just go be a comic. I just thought you were born into it or something. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was just one day you could just decide.
My,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I towed a car. I was driving a wrecker, and I towed this car, and the people never come pick the car up, so we'd always take all the stuff out of the car, find pistols and all kind of good stuff, you know, and drugs. And whatever. It was a free for all, you know?
Yeah, like the cops. Just take what you want and keep it.
I found this box of cassettes. And it was Richard Pryor and Sam Kinison, and my uncle used to recite Richard Pryor routines. Like he'd do the wino and the junkie, the wino and the junkie and the wino and Dracula and all that all the time. I thought he wrote all that.
Like, my uncle is the best.
Yeah, he's the funniest guy around. I thought he wrote all that, you know. And so I got this box of cassettes. I started listening to it, and I was like, man, I really was digging on Kinison at the time, and I had been kind of groomed to go into Pentecostalism and, you know, possibly be some kind of preacher or something. And so somebody I was dating at the time or seeing at the time knew I liked Kinison. They gave me this book that his brother wrote called Brother Sam. And in the book, which, you know, it's turned out that his brother is a terrible human being and shouldn't have written a book about it and made money off of it. But in the book, there's this whole thing about how he started in Houston. And how he decided he wasn't going to be a preacher anymore. He started in Houston, and I was like, well, I'm already in Houston. I just got to go find this club he went to. And I found the Laugh Stop and literally just started going to open mic because I met Ralphie, and Ralphie told me.
Ralphie May, by the way.
Yeah, I saw Ralphie live. The only comic I've ever bought a ticket to see.
No shit.
It was Ralphie. We bought tickets to go see Ralphie. I'd seen him on Last Comic Stand and thought he was hilarious. And we saw Ralphie live at the Laugh Stop, and I fanboyed him. He was like, man, I want to be a comic. And he was like, I was buying a DVD, and he signed it. Show up on Monday, don't be a pussy. And
no shit.
That Monday after that was my first time on stage. Then, like, 8 weeks later, I was working with him.
Shut up.
You know what I mean?
8 weeks?
It was like, yeah, because I won. I got second place at Houston's Funniest. Like
in 8 weeks?
About a month in.
Jerry.
Yeah, Sarah
I knew
Sarah Talamash won. And Harris Whittles was third place, which Harris Whittles was writers for Parks and Rec and all that stuff. Yeah.
Harris Whittles.
I did a whole lot of nothing.
But that's crazy, bro.
Right,
like, the three of you have had amazing careers.
Right, yeah.
But you're 4 weeks in there. I mean, God.
It was wild. I remember Rob Bungle was still running the contest, and Rob walks up to me. This is the first time Rob Bungle ever spoke to me. He's an old Houston guy. He's Godfather Houston guy.
Cranky son of a gun.
Yeah. Rob Bungle
if ever there was a description of an old cuss.
Yes.
That's Rob Bungle. Sorry.
He walks up to me and he looks at me and he goes, congratulations. You got the highest score tonight. I don't know how, but you did. And just walked off, and I was like, all I heard was I won. I was like, I don't know what he said after that, but I think this guy likes me and I won.
That's outstanding, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, so like 6 or 8 weeks in, it would be like, hey, I think I'm gonna go play football, and then you go try out, and
you're a starter. Yeah,
I'm gonna fuck
you're like, and then you're. Yeah, next thing you know, you're
8 weeks later, you're on the road with Elway. You know what I mean? Like, hey, guy, I'm enjoying this job. How are you? You know,
that's insane, dude. Especially because
Ralphie gave me a lot of cool opportunities. He got me on Last Comic Stand and got me like an actual audition, not a cattle call type deal.
Right.
Got me on the night show.
Did you tour with him?
No, but I did do a lot of road shows with him.
Yeah.
A lot of times he was in Texas. He would let me come feature for him. And he let me come work with him in Tennessee at a couple of clubs and just a couple of places, you know, here and there. But I did get to work with him a lot, and he was a really good friend. He was a better friend to me than I deserved at the time, honestly. I was a bit of a shithead. But But
I love that you own it, though, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
very self-aware.
It is what it is, you know. I mean, I was young and had a lot of growing up to do. And
Do you think that the success you had early, were you just a shithead before you got into comedy, or was it the success?
It wasn't about that. I was just you know.
You were just a shithead before?
Dirtbag. When
Okay,
I showed up,
gotcha.
You know?
Well, fair enough. Because some people just you win. You come in second place in funniest comic in Texas Houston after 4 weeks in the business, and have that much success. It could go to your head real fast.
Yeah, it was a lot of hoopla about it, and the owner of the club really liked me a lot. He liked kind of blue collar comedy, so he was also notoriously really bad at his job, and he would forget to book support acts. So there was like 1 year, I think 2005, I featured 17 weeks at the club and hosted another 9 weeks.
Dude, that's crazy.
I had a career.
That's unheard of.
I was like the house MC and feature for a little while at the Laugh Stop, and it was.
That's wild. You don't do that.
Yeah, that caused some problems.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you mean comics got jealous? Yeah. No way. Say it ain't so,
like every
Jerry.
time you drive by the Improv and it says Alan Adams, and you're like, God, is he just the first name in your phone?
Hey, I'm changing. Damn it, man. I got to change my name
to A. Jerry.
Yeah, I'm dropping the B and the L of my name. I'm just Ari Amanak from now on, damn it. I'm changing it. That's crazy,
no,
dude.
No, Alan Adams. He's a fantastic.
Oh, my God.
He's from my class. We kind of started in the same class. I've always been a
You heard he's not doing it anymore, right?
Well, he said I heard he was going to take a break for a little bit and work on some other stuff, which you know, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people say, oh, don't leave comedy because you never come back. And that's what happens. But I left for like 4 or 5 years. And when I came back, I was so hungry and ready. And I came back and went to open mic, worked my way back up through the scene again.
When did you take your break? When did you start? When did you walk away?
Man, it was like the year after my mom died. She died in 2013. And then I didn't do any more gigs in 2014. And I had friends that would call me and ask me to do stuff. And I just was on autopilot. You know, I was all screwed up about it. And then in 2015, I fell off a roof.
Oh, God.
And fell like 16 feet. And
that's a lot of feet.
Fractured my skull and broke everything on the left side of my body. And so I had to spend like couple months learning how to walk again and all that good stuff.
Holy shit!
You know, learn how to function again and like kind of. And I still got some. I was having like brain swelling and stuff, so it took a while for all that to go away. I had long-term memory damage, not short-term memory damage.
Really?
Yeah, I lost years. There's a couple years I don't got anymore. That they're just gone.
Well, hopefully they were bad ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember them.
I will literally meet people from high school now doing comedy. That especially if I like do a show in Houston and people are like, man, do you remember what we were doing? I'm like, I really don't, and it's not because of you. It's because something happened to me.
Wow.
There are like there's whole periods that are just gone. They're just.
Dude, that's crazy.
So
you started your hiatus when I started 2013.
Yeah, it was really like 2014, and then 2015 I had the accident.
Okay. So I started. My first open mic was like April of 2013, and I maybe did like 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it again. I didn't do it again until February 2014, just because of work and stuff. I wasn't able to really get back into it. But then when I got back into it in February 2014, I was all in. And I've been all in ever since.
So I left radio in like 2009. I was doing radio. I was doing Outlaw Dave's show.
Oh, okay.
With him, and I left radio in like 2009, and I really stopped doing anything Houston scene related. I was just just doing road gigs.
By the way, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to get the YouTube chat up so I can see their messages.
I was
Keep
just
going.
doing road gigs and travel gigs and stuff like that. You know.
Did you like radio?
No.
You hated it?
I didn't hate it. Just it's not my favorite It's not my favorite medium, to be honest with you. But I was also really dirty back then, and I didn't know how to check myself. I wasn't trained enough to be funny, and also to let my funny bone work.
Yeah.
But still keep this in check, because
You couldn't flip the switch, right?
I remember one night I did a set at Comedy Texas, and the owner Slade Ham comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, I like the word fuck too, but you just said it 37 times in 8 minutes." And I was like, "Oh, but they were laughing, right?"
That is such a Slade Ham way to start a sentence. Oh my God, Jerry. That is so spot on.
He gave me a lot of good advice.
He's got great advice.
He owned that club, and he would work me on.
Oh my God.
My very first paid gig. This is wild. My first paid gig ever was I was sitting at the Laugh Stop. I'd been doing open mic. I'd just done the prelims of the contest and got a high score for my night. And I would just go there. I had found this place that I just wanted to be all the time and be around. And I found out that because I did open mic, I could watch all the shows for free, And so I was watching these comics I'd never heard of and becoming friends with them and stuff, And the Vic Henleys, the guys that were like paper acts and stuff back then, So I was just sitting there at the bar one night having a drink, and the owner at the time was Pete Prelli. He was sitting down at the end of the bar, and he was talking with Slade Ham and Mo Amir. Back when it was
wow.
Mo Hammer. I screwed the pronunciation up.
That's all right.
Which is weird, because back then we all called him Mo Amir. Everybody called him that. And now I'm like, were we all getting your name wrong for all that time? You were just too nice.
You just never said anything?
And then you're like, got some stuff going for you. Like, hey, by the way, bitches, y'all been saying my name wrong.
Get it right, assholes.
I always loved the shit out of Mo. Mo was very cool to me in my early time starting out. So they were down there talking, and the owner goes, well, if he didn't show up, screw him. There's your MC right there. He's already doing comedy and stuff. Slade's like, oh, what's his name? And the owner and he comes down, and Slade goes, hey, man, my MC didn't show up. Do you want to MC the show? I just need you to do 10 minutes. And I was like, hell
damn.
No, man. And he goes, and I'll give you this, but I think it was like $25 or so. It was a Sunday night show. And I was like, I'm getting paid?
You're like, wait,
what? What? And so I hosted while Mo Ammer featured for Slade headlining on a Sunday night at the Laugh Stop.
That's wild,
that's how long
dude.
ago that was.
And now look at Mo.
Yeah, I mean, that's wild,
right?
Crazy,
bro.
And yeah, Slade doesn't like that story as much as I do, but no, he's good.
That's hilarious.
We give each other grief. But he's awesome, man. He's given me a lot of great advice over the years.
Slade is a fantastic... He's a fantastic dude. He's a fantastic comic, but Slade is he's been around forever. He's seen it all, and he has some of the best advice. You know what I mean? Like,
he is a dude.
I don't know what it is, but there's just certain...
He's an archiver, man.
Yeah.
He's a guy that sits and stores information like a human tape recorder.
Yeah.
And he figures out how to apply it to all the things, that we're doing. But he was when I signed on with the Whiskey Brothers because I wanted to learn some AV stuff because I didn't know anything about any of it. But when I came back to comedy, and I was like, okay, social media is where it's at. That's how you sell tickets. That's how you put asses in the seats.
Yup.
And I'm gonna be an old dog and learn some new tricks. I'm gonna teach myself this crap. And so me and my wife were like real hardcore about that. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go with these guys because I can use their equipment and learn some AV, and they'll teach me. Slade had offered to teach me some of the stuff, and Adam Taylor, the guy that was directing them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we got in there, and they started teaching me stuff, and I produced for the Whiskey Brothers for a while until Rob stepped down. Then I took Rob's seat, and I've been with them now, I think, over a year as a co-host. But it was really, that's where I was like, okay, so I bought a laptop, and I started making videos on my back porch, and then, COVID was going on, so I just kept throwing stuff at a wall, making videos until a couple of them started popping.
What was the first one that popped?
Well, the first one that popped were my stand-up clips. We had shot my special, The Wrecking Yard, July of 2021 at Secret Group.
Yep.
And I put it on YouTube and, got 600 views. So I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to get eyes on this thing I spent this money and made.
Right.
So I started cutting it up and making TikToks out of it, and they started blowing up on TikTok. And my nuclear inspector bit hit like 500,000 views, and I thought I was going to be rich.
Damn.
I was so excited. I was like, oh,
Let's go.
what's happening? I'm a TikTok star. Look here.
I got money. Wait, where is it?
Yeah, I got like 20,000 fans in one night.
No shit.
It was crazy when it blew the first time. We went from like 6,000 fans to 20,000 fans, but also my YouTube jumped up. My special hit like 4,000 views, and my YouTube numbers jumped up, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And
Dude,
then
that's crazy.
TikTok started giving me money, and I monetized with them. I was like, oh, there's another way to pay the bills, so I can still do comedy, go do all the stuff I want to do. And then I did the boot astrology video, and that was really because me and Jesse Payton were joking around about how his buddy Dustin got a little worked up because somebody said something about his boots. I was like, oh, have you seen all these boots these idiots are wearing these days? Jesse goes, oh, I had already done one of the truck astrology. It wasn't called truck. It was just, this is what your truck says about you type thing. And he goes, you already do one of those about boots? And I was like, hell yeah, man. So I just went and made fun of all the boots that, just made these little jokes about them. Blew the F up. Like that one went viral. The first boot astrology went like 1.6 million views in one night. And I was like, okay, I've got this now.
You posted it like at night because you hear so much. Don't post past 5 p.m. Post at 8 a.m. Post this. Or did you just like, I'm just throwing it up whenever?
I just posted whenever. Now, it was usually in the evening. But I have a weird crowd because I can run TikTok stuff at like midnight and it'll go good. But I can run TikTok stuff at 5:30 in the afternoon. Actually, TikTok for me is like 8 p.m. and later is when I do really well on TikTok.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's blue collar guys.
Yeah.
They're done work. They're done with dinner. They're sitting in the couch while their wife watches some dumb reality show and they're doom scrolling. Yeah. And then it's one of them talking about things they like, and they're like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna watch all of them."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And I get it. So I know it falls into those time patterns for them. I believe a lot in that now. I didn't believe it in the beginning, but I believe a lot in it.
But that's
now.
crazy because you did it, and do you even remember what time you posted it?
Yeah. I remember it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. And
so it was when your people, your fan base would have been watching it.
Edit. So the first one I filmed it about 3 minutes and then it was like one of my first green screen videos I'd ever done. And I was using our big screen TV.
As the green screen?
With the green screen playing on YouTube.
Jerry, that's
behind me.
Fantastic.
And I was sitting on a stool and angling my iPhone so it looked like a big screen behind me.
Bro, that is hilarious.
Yeah, man.
That's so smart, though.
That's how I made all
Instead of putting the trucks on the screen, you made it a green screen.
Yeah. And I also did...
That's hilarious.
I did children's... because I have kids, and so I watch all the kids' movies.
Yeah.
So I did like 1 minute movie reviews where I broke down Cruella and Encanto and all
I
that.
bet those were great. They just don't hit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean...
They were fun, They
Yeah.
can get a lot of stuff. I may toy with the idea again. I really like doing the kids' movies.
Well, now that you have a fan base and stuff,
yeah,
you probably will have much more success. It's just finding that like one. I always love telling this story about Eddie B, whom I'm sure you know.
Yeah,
when he went viral, because it's kind of the same story, right? He was doing stuff. He was just an average comic, and then one night before the first day of school, as a teacher, he just made everybody always cares about students' first day of school. Well, let me tell you about a teacher's first day of school, and he just ranting, posted it, went to sleep, woke up next morning, had 1 point something million views and a fan base, and the rest is history. Now he sells out Smart Financial Center as a teacher. It's the best story, bro. And he tours and it's crazy. And he works clean now. He was filthy, and it's just because you just never know.
Yeah,
it's the greatest.
I got up to go to the bathroom the next morning, and I was on the shitter, and I heard Rach holler, "Babe, look at your views!" And I was like, I was doing something else. I pulled TikTok up, and my notifications were maxed out, and I was like, "What the shit?" And so I started going, And
Were you nervous? Were you like, what's happening?
Oh, bro, in the beginning, I was trying to answer every comment. I was like, okay, here, guy.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
Everybody said anything bad. I was like, hey, man, I'll kick your ass. You know, like,
tell me where you post your address. I'll be there in a minute.
I got demonetized a couple times. I quit doing all that.
I'll beat your ass.
Now I just delete and block people who are
That's
a-holes.
me, dude. I'm so bad about responding to everybody that talks shit. But I can do that now. I only have like 7 followers.
Turning a troll around. I got to take a troll sometimes, and they may start out tense, but I can turn them around sometimes.
You should win them over.
I call that a win. I'm like, I got you.
I only have one story that it was a win, dude. Because I was before my TV show got canceled, I was doing this segment called Barry on Sports, and we basically, as me and a couple other comics, Sun Tran and Chris Rogers, and we would write jokes about the headlines. It was kind of like Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, right? So we'd write some jokes about the headlines, and inevitably it would hurt people's feelings because you're writing jokes about their beloved sports team. So everybody gets butthurt unless they hate the team, right? So I forget who I was making a joke about, but somebody came in talking shit, and they called me fat, and then they said I was awful, and they said a whole bunch of mean shit, right? And normally I'm like, well, fuck you, and I'll go to their page and I'll find a whole bunch of stuff, and
that's why your wife's got one ear. You
and I'll find all their social media and just
Sorry,
roast.
your sister's kid died. Trash piece of garbage. You know?
Exactly. But I was like, I just decided, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do, and I had kind of made up my mind.
You did what Kendrick just did to Drake. Sorry, your dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah. But this time all I did was I put, thanks for watching. And then, dude, the craziest thing, somebody, and I didn't even like think of twice about it. I just really started doing that for everybody that would post mean stuff. And I went back and saw somebody had came behind me and put W comment, my man, you just earned a subscriber, a follower.
Yeah.
And followed me because instead of
reacting, you just like
I was just
down.
like, yeah, thanks for watching. And he was like, so somebody was like, oh, dude, way to handle that. And then somebody else was like, yeah, dude, way to be the bigger person. I followed you too. I was like, what?
Oh, here we go.
So the high road is actually, oh hell, I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
High road pays.
I've been doing this for my ego.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing about the truck astrology is like I make these characters up. They're all fictional. Yeah. Every one of them is fictional. Most of them are actually based on people I love and know in my life, people that I give a damn about.
Yeah.
Especially the earlier ones. But I just look at these pictures of the truck and make a little joke up about a fictional person or whatever want to call it. And the way, like, I never understood how much people identify by their material possessions until I started doing this. They'll come over, you don't know anything about 86 F-150 short beds, and you're a fat piece of shit homosexual Democrat, you know? You suck Joe Biden's nuts. You know, and I'm like, because I made fun of a picture of a truck, bro? Like, God, what do you drive, fat ass? I drive a Mazda, but I don't give a shit what you think about it. I tell them all the time, what do you drive? I got a Mazda 12. You know, I got a Mazda 3.
I drive a Mazda 323
I don't
with it.
identify by my material possessions, so you can make fun of it all you want. It's a little shitbox.
Dude,
I don't care.
that's so fun. People,
it's wild,
yeah.
bro. They would come in and they would get so heated about stuff. And then a whole lot of, man, making content for gearheads and automotive people is a tricky game because half of them are on the spectrum of I got to be right all the damn time.
I didn't know if you were going to stop.
No, I'm not. I'm wording this very carefully.
Where's he going with this?
I call it my little pet name for them is the Actually Allens. But they're the guys that just can't. If any piece of information, I'm like, I always tell them all the time, this ain't a TED Talk. It's a joke. I got the number of cylinders wrong. Who gives a shit? The joke still works, bro.
Exactly.
You can't be some kind of truck. I never claimed to be an expert. I've never once.
But
I list every one of these as comedy and satire.
Yeah, but what's funny, Jerry, is I'll go back and you'll see people like, no, I saw one of them. It was one of the most recent ones. Somebody's like, I guarantee you that's not I forget what they said. It was one of the, I don't, because I say one of the recent ones because, you'll get older videos from people the more you scroll because the algorithm's like, all right, you've already seen all this other shit. I'm going to feed you a new one. And some guy called you out and said you were wrong, that this wasn't this, it was that. And it had something to do with the 6 lug nuts on it or 5 or some bullshit.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And you were like,
he
nope.
was telling me it's not Duramax. I was like, I'll bet cash money. I got
you were like, man, that was it. And he was like, and I was like, Jerry knows the shit, man.
I would put. Look, I'm not an expert or whatever. But I will say this. I will take my general automotive knowledge against the entire spectrum of automotive and mechanic things and put it up against anybody and feel pretty good about my chances, right up till we get to like Jay Leno. Like under that, I'm game. But we get up
Henry
this
Ford
dude that owns steam engines. I'm not going to argue with you. You know what I mean? I would have a general automotive knowledge test against most people and feel pretty good. I grew up in a junkyard. I grew up building cars, and I grew up racing. So I know for the most part most of these things.
You have family members in the business that sell. Defense Dad said, people give me shit about my rig all the time, but I don't give a F. It works for my needs. And he said, afternoon, y'all.
Look, I will tell you this. It's really, what I do appreciate is because people submit those pictures to me. And most of those people take a joke really well.
Yeah.
They're just like, they're just happy to be in the video, and they're glad their truck got posted, and they get a kick out of it, and there's no big deal. And I've gotten some of them wrong, like legitimately wrong, and I just own it. Just like, it is what it is.
I mean, when you've got 55 in the can, you're bound to miss. Hell, Jordan.
Fact, I'm about to make a collab video, a compilation video that's all the ones I've got, all the mistakes.
Like a blooper reel. That'd be great.
It'll get 1 million views.
Yeah, people love that. Greg Rochon.
It'll get so much content, people show up and tell me how wrong
I told you. Yeah. Hey, Dave, appreciate all the comments and you keeping the algorithm happy. Greg Rochon said, get Jerry talking about Jaguars and his love of wiring and repairing basically abandoned cars. That's funny.
I loved British stuff when I was younger. I was into British motorcycles and into British cars. And
really?
It was a short love affair because
I was gonna say.
it's a painful one.
Yeah.
It's a painful, expensive love affair. And like that was like one of the first things like I learned how to do in that aspect of like wiring cars was a buddy of mine taught me how to solder up the taillights in Jaguars because you had to solder each little connection. And
Lord, they just didn't plug? What?
And they were notorious for the wiring on being a mess. And
damn Brits.
A lot of the British part suppliers owned by this company called Lucas, and Lucas parts are just terrible, right? Mm-hmm. So especially all their electrical gadgets, whatnot, points, all that stuff. They're all a nightmare. So, like, I joke, I had a Triumph Bobber, a little British bike I built from the 50s, and I didn't build it.
Did you have a little sidecar?
It got together. No, it was a single wheel, but I owned it 7 years and rode it 3 times, and I sold it to the guy. The guy I sold it to has now owned it 12 years and ridden it once. There's like always something wrong with this bike, and the guys that knew how to build them and stuff, most of them are dead and are in the pen, so you can't.
Or in the pen.
Yeah, it's just good motorcycle mechanics. Few and far between, bro.
Dead or arrested.
I mean, there's plenty of guys that went to UTI, School of Dickheads in Phoenix or whatever. They know how to work on Harleys and Yamahas, but guys that can like diagnose and really break down like what's going on with an engine, what's going on with the tuning. That's few and far between anymore. Like it's like masons, like trying to find a good bricklayer.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, they're just all them are just old as shit, and their kids didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
all the dudes that used to work for me when I had my construction company, all my bricklayer, I had like 3 different mason subcontractors. All of them were old Mexican men, right, that were masters of their craft and made bucks because they were good at it, but their kids didn't want anything to do with it, and they didn't want their kids having anything to do with it.
You're going to
all their kids were
school
in
and
college
yep,
and go
you're
be a
going to
dentist.
school. Yep.
It was weird to me how many. I kept trying to calculate how many Mexican dentists there were going to be because there was a big career plan for a lot of these
Mexican dentists and stripper nurses.
yeah,
It's an
be-
epidemic.
One dude that worked for me for a long time who didn't even have immigration status, right? He'd been working on it for like 14 years, 15 years, something like that, trying to become a citizen. He worked, he ran my crews for me. He was like one of my foremen. And his two daughters, one of them was 20 and the other one was 23. And the 23-year-old was an ACLU lawyer.
Damn.
And the 20-year-old was going to law school. And he was paying for it
Damn.
all, digging up house foundations, bro, for me.
Damn.
Yeah, he was damn good. You know what I mean? He was
And
good at
probably
running a
no
crew.
formal training, just OJT.
No, he had been a
yeah.
waiter in his father's restaurant in Mexico. His father was murdered by the cartel. He was like 15 years old.
Oh my God.
His father and some of the local business people said they weren't going to put up with the cartel screwing him around. And the next day they came in his restaurant and they murdered his father and his brother and his other brother in cold blood. And they shot him up with a AR-15, I think, and left him for dead. And his older brother, who had not been at the restaurant, came and got him and drug him to the hospital, and they got him patched up and brought him to Texas.
Damn.
I saw his day. He took his shirt off one day. We were on a job site. I was like, Jesus, Gabby, what happened to you, bro?
And that's when he
'Cause
told
it
you
looked like he'd taken a shotgun blast to the back. There was just little holes all up his back.
God.
And he's like, yeah, they shot me, I think it was like 13 times with this assault, with, you know, some kind of semi.
And I'm over here bitching about I don't have no power today. That's terrible.
I moved half the yard. I'm tired. It's hot.
He said, I was like, I'm sweating because I moved half the yard. Well, at least my whole family wasn't murdered by the cartel. Sorry. In the chat, hey, what up, Nick Morrison? Nick Morrison Comedy showed up. He said, you two with a microphone at the same time is a tad too dangerous.
Nick, I'm sorry to hear your news about your grandma.
Yeah, man.
I don't
Hey,
know you that well, but
keep
that
talking.
sucks. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. Anyways, Nick, I'm sorry I saw all that, but I thought I'm not the biggest Christian in the world. I want to call myself a bad Christian, but I thought the horse tank baptismal in 20 degrees showed some real spirit. That was pretty cool. Man, what was that? I'm supposed to talk about myself while he runs off?
You want ice? Or
No, I just go neat. Yeah. I have a theory about the way things should taste.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think things.
By the way, they're not dirty. That's just the
Yeah, it's just a little
cold. Yeah. What you want? So we can
me and
crack
Uncle
open.
Uncle Nearest.
Okay, because I was gonna say we can crack open. This is my. So this is my buddy Christopher Hart. I don't know if you know him. He is a. I don't know what the word would be. He is an expert bourbon whiskey guy.
All right.
He had a podcast called it's called Whiskey Neat, and he's really one of the, I guess, a nationally known expert in bourbon. And he worked. What was the name? What's the distilling company here? He was with them for a while, and this was his brand, Prideful Goat. He's no longer with them, but he invited me and let me pick. Was it 6 deckheads? We got to go down and do our own single barrel pull. So we did we did a single barrel bottling of Prideful Goat straight rye whiskey. So this is the berry on deck. They sold it in
Break it out, let's
specs.
try it.
Yeah, they had it in specs. So it was pretty cool. This is what I was telling you about. It's a good rye.
Yeah, I like a rye. I'm a rye fan. I gotta tell you for a while, so because I was listed as the producer of the Whiskey Brothers, I started getting all these the whiskey nerds, coming out of the woodwork to invite me to sample their whiskeys.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all this kind of stuff, And I got invited by this magazine, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this Zoom call." And this was like towards the end of the pandemic, but we're gonna do this Zoom call. We're gonna do a whiskey tasting. We're gonna mail you the whiskey to your house. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Cool, man." So they do all that. We get in this room, and these guys are all magazine writers,
Cheers, brother.
right? Like, cheers. And like serious bourbon guys and like whiskey guys. And they're all, dude, we're all in this Zoom call. It's like 12 of us. And they're all like, "Oh yeah, I can taste the hints of the caramel." And
It's got notes of.
It's got I really like that oakiness at the back of it, and they're all douching it up, you know. And I'm just over there piling away at this whiskey. And I was like, and so finally I just go, "Does anybody else taste bubble gum? I taste bubble gum right on the back end of it, just a little hint of bubble gum." And they all just get real quiet and stare at the screen.
Dude, it's so funny. I end up telling this.
I kept them going for 15 minutes before they kicked me out of the Zoom call. Then they invited me to the next one and sent me another bottle of whiskey. I've done like 3 of them so far, and they kick me out of the Zoom call every time. I don't know why they keep inviting me.
It's so funny because I never believed in notes. I always said it was bullshit. I told him on his podcast.
No, they're real. They're in music.
I was like, notes are bullshit. And we have one of the deckheads. His name is Francisco. He works at a winery in the Hill Country, William Chris Wineries. I told him too. I was like, you wine people and you fucking bourbon people, excuse my language, you guys are stupid because notes are bullshit. They're made up. Cigars, same thing. And I challenged Christopher Hart. I was like, notes are bullshit. He goes, all right, come on my podcast and I'll teach you how to. I was like, you're going to make yourself look stupid on your podcast.
Yeah.
Dude. We did 2 podcasts and he taught me notes. And
Bourbon
then
people are worse than Pentecostals.
Yeah, and then I went to the Hill Country to William Chris, and Cisco did another one where he taught me how to do notes with wine, and I was like, it's crazy. And then I learned.
This is how I do notes with wine.
Yeah.
I'm detecting grape.
Getting hints of Concord grapes. And then I learned how to do notes with cigars. It's crazy, bro.
I know you're serious about them cigars when you showed up at the Revenant with that Fallout super jetpack thing that you were carrying them in. I was like, oh, bro, I usually just stick them in my console. That's wild.
That big leather case? Yeah, I don't mess around, bro. I love my cigars. All right, so what we're smoking today, I got 2. I didn't know how much we would smoke, but I ended up getting us 2. The last time we did that show together at the Revenant, I got us an Oliva V Milano. I think that's what it's called. Oliva V Milano, which is a really good cigar. I think you like that a lot.
Oh yeah, it was excellent.
That is one of my favorites now. So this time around, I switched it up for you. I got you a Rocky Patel Decade 10th anniversary. This is a really good cigar. So we'll start with that.
Teach me all about it, man.
And if we don't get to it, but I did, you can take it with you. I also got us a My Father Fleur de Lis Antilles. And this was the first cigar that I actually smoked. And I smoked it with Dusty Slay. And this was
Does it taste
how
like
I got
feelings of abandonment?
It tastes like we're having a good time. But no, this was what got me into cigars. And the funny thing is like the first, I didn't know what to do. He handed it to me, and like he handed me a pocket knife, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. He's like, you got to cut the end off. Because I was literally just going to, I didn't know I had to, because I smoked cigarettes when I was a kid. And so I just was going to smoke it. I didn't know. He's like, no, bro, you got to put a hole in it somehow. You can cut the end off. You can cut a V in it, just punch a hole. So Dusty Slay taught me how to smoke cigars, and this is what we smoke. So it has a little bit of
rye. That rye's got some spice on it. I like it. That's why I like rye. I like that spicy.
It's good, huh?
I like, have you had Joe Brado's double oak rye that he makes over there in
not.
Humble? It's like, and I know everybody's like, Humble Distilling, that doesn't sound, but there's just nothing exciting about Humble,
No.
But he's doing some cool stuff over there. I tried one he had last night called Black Cat Ridge. It's
You
like
can just throw the
120 proof.
wrapper on the ground, by the way. I'll pick it up later.
And, but his double oak rye is, that's one of the first ones I ever drank. I was like, okay, I can taste the oak here. I see what you're saying. This has got oak in it, but he like double staves them and everything when he sits them. And,
Yeah.
good stuff.
And that's Old Humble Distillery?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, he,
Joe's a good dude.
he had sent me some stuff during the pandemic. Yeah, he had sent me some stuff during the pandemic. This might
gave me a couple of bottles of whiskey during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, he kept everybody lit, I do believe. What they say? Oh yeah, Nick said, "Thanks guys. Death is part of life, and she lived a great one." I look forward to doing some shows with you in the future, Jerry. Yeah, man, for sure. Jared said Nora's going to see him throwing trash on the ground and chew him out. Shut up, Jared Taylor. Kiss my ass. All right, so let me light this real quick.
Oh, you got a fire machine there. Look at that. Well, that's like that'll light a light bulb up pretty good too, I've heard. Because I used to do that joke, like, smoke. It's my buddy Sam Miller does that joke. He's like, I used to smoke meth out of light bulbs, and then Obama got rid of the light bulbs. Thanks, Obama. He got off meth because they went to CFLs. You can't smoke meth out of those twisty kind.
That's hilarious. And then we went to LCDs, damn it. That's funny. Yeah, I saw you worked with him recently. Is he funny? I haven't seen him.
He's one of my favorite comedians to watch, which, that's rare to find that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Miller makes me laugh harder than just about anybody right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has such a natural presence on stage and a natural ability to write for himself and know his voice at only 10 years in comedy in a way that most people do not.
He seems like he would be kind of one of those guys that's just like, you just look at it and go, man, I wish I could capture that style. I wish I could just capture.
He has a very John Belushi meets, I don't know, man. It's very calm and agitated at the same time. But I have a good time also just hanging with the dude on a personal level. He's a really deep, introspective dude. He's got a lot of big thoughts about things, and he's writing a book, and he's an interesting cat. Man. So I'm glad to have made his acquaintance, become buddies with. We're going to do some stuff in the future. Right now we're trying to plan a run through Washington. We're going to do a theater
very cool. He's up that way, right? Is he up that way?
Yeah, he's from up there.
Okay. And y'all just did Waco, right? Or was it Waco?
Yeah, and that was really that. So that was like a run of shows he was doing, and I just happened to be off that night and was like, "Hey, bro, you're as close as you're going to be to my house." Because the night he was coming to Houston, you and me were going to Revenant. And so I was like, man, so this is close as you're going to be to my house. And plus, when he's coming to Houston, he's coming to Sugar Land. I don't go to Sugar Land. You know what I mean? I avoid
It's not a thing.
Yeah, no, there's just nothing for me there. You know what I mean? Like, I had good times there when I was a kid. I don't go back. You know? I really try to avoid A-Leaf, too, to be honest with you. Fucking A-Leaf, Katy, Sugar Land, that whole west side of town, I don't get out there often anymore. That's all my stomping grounds. That's where I went to school, and I'm an A-Leaf boy, but it's not the same as it was when I was growing up. Sugar Land's all doctors now. Sugar Land used to be rednecks and stuff when I was growing up. A-Leaf was rednecks that were trying to be black dudes, and we had a bunch of them, and a lot of Vietnamese people. And then Katy was kind of the rich kids, and we didn't like any of them back then. Yeah. But now they're all broke, and they all all those areas.
Yeah. Ah, shit.
But going back to Sam, I was like, man, I got this night off. Why don't I just run out there to Waco, and then I can just watch your show? And he was like, well, why don't you come be I said, man, if you want, I'll do a guest spot or something. He said, no, man, just come be on the show with me. And I was like, all right, cool, we'll go do it.
Oh, that's cool.
We had a great time that night, and really cool. I got to meet his mom. His mom was traveling with him, which was cool.
Shit, that's very cool.
Yeah, and she's retired, and so she wanted to see Texas, and so he's like, well.
So he's a mama's boy too.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but he does look after his mama, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Boy, I like the hell out of that.
You like that? You like that better than the other one?
No, I think I like the other one better, but I do like this one a lot. This is really good. Olivo thing, I still got that band sitting on my dresser. Like, I'm going to get me some of them. That was top notch.
Yeah. This got a real high rating too. So that one, I don't think it got like as high of a rating from like Cigars International or whatever the rating system is. But this is a really good, really highly rated.
How often do you find yourself? I'm curious about this because I put the things I'm really into, the cars and stuff like that. Of course I read everybody else's publication, what everybody else is doing, and I'm always curious about where I stand with how they feel. Like, I'll go read all the new reviews of the 2023 Ford Maverick, and then I'll write my review, and it usually doesn't coincide with Car and Driver and their buddy. Like, do you find yourself clashing with the cigar review and the whiskey review people sometimes, or even sports?
Sports more. I think I'm still a noob when it comes to cigars and whiskey. So I think I don't experiment enough. You know what I mean? I usually just I'll find 3 or 4 things I like, and I just kind of stay in my lane. And then once I kind of get tired of those, then I'll try a new
That's
one.
kind of how I go to things I like, but I am a lifelong bourbon drinker. I like whiskey, I like bourbon, but I prefer, my favorite is sour mashes. So I like George Stickle and Jack Daniels, and Evan Williams is my favorite. I just got a new single barrel bottle of Evan Williams. A fan sent to me, and they're not watching right now, which sucks. But I'm pretty excited about that. So, but I'm the same way. I fall into my patterns of things I like, and then every once in a while I get bored. I'm like, well, let's go try something new, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I never really smoked cigar. I smoked cigarettes for 20-something years, and I quit smoking after I come back from Africa last year.
Oh, really?
May. Yeah, I quit smoking in May last year. So, man,
Good for you.
shit, it's been a year. Yeah,
Good for
year.
you.
I still smoke a cigar once in a while, but I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. So
That's good. Shit, I started smoking when I was 13 and quit I quit in 2004. So I was born in 74. Yeah, so I quit. Well, shit, I quit 20 years ago.
yeah.
I'll be damned. Yeah.
I tell you, all these people are like, oh, you're going to be so happy you quit. You're going to feel so much better. And let me tell y'all something. They're full of shit. I don't feel any different. I feel exactly the same, except I don't spend money on cigarettes anymore, which is nice.
I'll tell you the one thing.
And I don't get I was real bad about smoking in my car because I like to smoke when I drive. So I'm really enjoying my cars now that don't smell like cigarette smoke anymore. That smell in them.
I was
Burns in the seats or nothing.
I was worried, man, because I don't know how long you smoked, but I smoked forever.
A good 20 years.
I was up to 2.5 packs a day, and I was scared I was gonna miss it. Like I
never got real bad like that until when I was doing the booger sugar. Mm-hmm. And boy, I smoked a pack of cigarettes in 2 hours. You know,
really?
Hanging out at the lap stop.
Oh yeah,
just
all hyped up. Yeah.
like it was bad. But most of the time, I was about a pack a day kind of guy, and then in the more recent years, I'd gone down to about a pack or 2 a week. I didn't smoke all the time.
Wow, that's good.
Well, I don't smoke around the kids, and I don't smoke around the house, and I don't. When I worked all the time, I smoked more. When I was doing construction all the time, I smoke all day. But when all of a sudden all my work was at home and I was making content and stuff, then I'm around my kids and shit, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to role model some bad behaviors or whatever, if they get enough of them from me, that I'm trying to, decide that and the genetics. Y'all drew a shit hand. I'm trying to make enough money that
you're crazy.
You're okay.
Trying to make up for it.
You know what I mean? Like, I also need to teach you how to smoke Camels like my papa taught me, My first cigarette was an unfiltered Camel.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I loved every minute of it. Everyone always tells you stories about how I thought I was so cool. I was walking through my papa's junkyard smoking that Camel cigarette.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I was about 14. Mm-hmm. I thought I was hot shit.
Did he give it to you? Did you know?
No, I snuck it out of his pack. I had snuck 4 of them out of his pack.
Did you throw up?
No, I smoked the shit out of that thing. Went and got on my Dukes of Hazzard bicycle, rode up and down the dirt road with it. Showed the neighborhood girls what I was about. You know what I mean?
Hey, like, look at me.
There was only one neighborhood girl. She was flat-footed and red-headed, but you gotta go with what you can get,
you
bro.
You gotta do what you gotta do, player. That's hilarious, man. I remember I snuck my dad's cigarettes that he used to smoke Kent 3100s.
Oh yeah.
Whew. And I threw up. God damn, I threw up. It was crazy. Get out of my face. It was wild, dude. Yeah, oh good. And we got wasps building wasp nest up on these fans.
The life out of you. Come down here.
Boy, I hate them sons of
I have
bitches.
a zero tolerance policy.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm very Buddha about animals and everything except wasps and ants.
Oh, I hate wasps. Yeah, they scared the shit out of me. It's a. Oh wait, what the fuck is going on? I'm about to fuck their life up.
Are you gonna turn the fan on?
Yeah.
You're about to set a whole nest up down there with us. What you're about to do. This is gonna be the funniest thing y'all have ever seen.
When you see me take off running,
when y'all find out I can outrun Barry, you're gonna trip out. Right? Boy, I think you had it in him, but that big blue shirt got up out of that chair and started moving, bro.
Big boy was
the whole
getting
screen
it.
turned blue for a minute.
Big boy was moving. Yeah, watch your bourbon, dude. Last time, a couple shows ago, when Trey and I were out here, them little honeybees kept landing in them because I don't know, we got all kind of wild shit out here.
You got some wilderness out there.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I like y'all got a little more pine trees. I wish I had some more pine trees. Mm-hmm. I say that I don't like cleaning up them needles. My house is mostly oak tree and pecan, and we got a couple fig trees, but it's mostly oak and pecan. I got one big old bald cypress tree way out in the back.
Yeah.
But we got wilderness, bro. Even though we're like you saw how close into town I am.
Yeah.
But it's such a big piece of property. And it's so old.
Yeah, it feels secluded when you're there.
Man, you sit out there in the backyard. I got this like crane heron bird that comes and stalks around the yard eating frogs and stuff.
No
and I'm
shit.
like, bro,
yeah.
It looks like a dinosaur bird. It's like 2 foot tall.
Defense dad said, yeah, when I quit smoking 14 years ago, driving was the hardest. I was a 2-pack-a-day guy for 15 years.
Driving makes me want to smoke. Now I just smoke joints, and it's way better.
See, for me, but I don't know
I find that it gives me a softened view on humanity when I'm behind the wheel.
Like, go ahead, brother. Please zipper merge at the last second. It's
You didn't
fine.
have to cut me off. I'd have hit the brakes. Come on,
It's
bro.
fine.
It's not that big a deal.
Dude,
You're
I don't
making
know
me
how.
look high. Slow down.
I don't know how people do it, man. I always tell people that because I have this I do a bunch of jokes about getting high. I'm literally, when we did the revenue, somebody's like, you want to smoke a little? I was like, no, because I'm be here the whole night. They were like, what you mean? I was like, wherever I smoke is where I am. That's it. I am that dude. Did it come out your nose? Oh, that can't be good.
Well, that clears your sinuses right there. That's better than NyQuil. Just snort a little bit of that.
That can't be good. No, I can't. I don't know how people drive. Shit, I can barely function.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It kind of brings me down to earth. Makes me, my brain's just going all the time, man. Ideas. I'm writing stuff. I sit there at night out there on the porch, and when I smoke, it slows the ideas down enough I can write them down.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not coming so fast. I had some testing done. They said I was ADHD or whatever the hell, but I don't trust none of that medication, so I don't want to, I ain't going to do none of that. So, but when I smoke, man, it slows my brain down enough that I can go, okay, I can catalog these thoughts in my notepad, and then I can hit them in the morning when my brain's going crazy again, and it'll give me some direction.
Get after it. Shit, man.
That's how I write. I call it it's my Mormon speedball, Slade used to say that. It made me laugh. I sit out there on the porch. I got this Yirgacheffe coffee I like, this Ethiopian coffee. I always thought I used coffee my entire life like a drug. I didn't care about how it tasted. I have a theory about the way things taste. I think they should taste as strong as the effect they can have on you. So I don't like sugary drinks.
Okay.
Right? I like whiskey by itself. Tastes like whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a bunch of sugar and crap in my coffee. I just want black coffee. I want it to taste like it's gonna kick my ass.
Can't do that.
Pussy. I like strong tasting pussy. You know what I mean? I like all the things. Those are my three
I want
favorite
it to
tastes.
taste like a saddle.
Yeah. I want that something to know how much it could screw my life up.
I want it to taste like divorce.
I want it to taste like danger, Will Robinson.
I want it to taste like a summons.
So I have a thing about that. So I always drank black coffee, but I just never cared about it. And I usually just drank whatever the guys I worked with oil field guys, and they were all into the whatever that community Louisiana coffee is.
Yeah.
They all like that. So I just drank community coffee for years. Like We were in Africa last year, and in the Ethiopian airport, and this guy asked me if I want a cup of coffee, and I'm like, yeah, sure. She brings
got
me this
community?
cup of coffee. Bro, the first sip, I was like, what the hell is that? I didn't know that's where coffee began, is in Ethiopia.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's where the very first coffee plant ever, it was like some goats were eating it and going crazy, and the dude was like, oh, let's put some of this in a tea, and then it became coffee. Yeah, it's like crazy. It goes way back. But every coffee plant in the world comes from Ethiopia. It's like, it's a wild, man, go off down that rabbit hole sometime.
Oh, hell.
You'll be reading and watching videos. Every coffee plant species in the world originates from that one the original, the Ethiopian coffee, according to the stuff I read. Now, Alan's going to show up and tell me that Hawaiian coffee came out of the butthole of a volcano
Actually,
or something.
yeah.
Like, no, Zeus come down, shit in a volcano, and then we all start drinking it, or whatever. But I tried that coffee in Ethiopia, man. I was like, ooh, and not only that, it was like 20 hours of flying, and I was just,
You were ready.
yeah, I was ready to get home, bro. I was
The
just
plain
wild.
Astrology.
I walked 4 miles in Italy before I even realized I was walking for no reason. You know what I mean? And I don't walk for no reason. That ain't my thing. We literally got out of the airport in Fiumicino, and one of the comics, Lisa Corral, excellent comic out of Florida, she had family in Italy, and they didn't have anything going on that day. Well, I found out Italians don't work, basically.
Oh, nice.
It's wild. They don't go to work till like noon or some shit.
What?
You walk around in town
That's
in
it, I'm moving.
Fiumicino at like 8 in the morning, nothing's open. You know what I mean? You have to wait for everybody to come to work so you can get some food. And then like after lunch, they go home for a little bit. And
Take
then
a
they
nap.
come back. And it's a while. They drink all day.
I'm moving. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed cool, except for the poverty and whatnot. But like everything else was cool.
Everything else is great.
The food was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was so that's why I sit out there on the porch in the morning. I have that coffee and smoke about half a J, and then I just sit there and write for a couple hours. And I'll write truck astrology sketches and marketplace. I'll write content. I'll write stand-up stuff. I just had a major breakthrough in my stand-up, so
Nice.
I've been doing a lot of writing on that as far as like trying to get the new special ready. But
Yep.
and you got to hear some of it a good portion of like what it's going to look like, and I'm really happy with the direction it's going right now.
It's going to be great.
I'm having a good time with that. So I'm doing a lot of writing right now, and it's kind of cool because my May's pretty quiet. I'm doing some stuff with Jeff Canada, and I'm finishing this little film project thing I'm doing. So I'm just going to make
The Fallout?
all May. No. Well, I was on this other series called MYOB. It's somebody else's series.
Oh.
And I'm just acting in it. I'm playing Billy Gibbons' barber. And it's like weird
that's
little sketch
badass.
comedy thing.
Yeah.
And so that's fun, doing that kind of stuff. Just kind of learning how to be on set. I spend most of my time listening to the cinematographer dudes because, like, I'm trying to learn. Like, even in my own filming and my own stories I want to tell, I'm trying to. There's such a disconnect in between what a camera sees and what your eye sees. And I'm really trying to learn how to visualize that so that I can look at the back of my camera and see what my eye's going to see once I get it on that computer.
Yeah.
So I'm not filming things 3 and 4 times. I can,
You're like, shit, I got to do it
teaching
again.
yourself the craft. I'm trying
Yeah.
to learn the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great,
Yeah,
dude.
weed helps me slow down. It helps me pump the brakes a little bit and go, okay.
It just makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
Like,
I use it more as a functionality. It's not really like weed's not fun for me. I don't get high for fun. That's not a thing I do.
yeah.
But it's more of I just need to slow down a minute, or I just want my brain to slow down so I can enjoy some video games for a little bit. Whatever. It just is what it is. I use it as a functionality drug. Now, whiskey, I like to get bent.
Yeah.
when I get into my cups late at night, bro, and then I'm just we're
See,
just
I
going
don't-
until we run out. You know what I mean? We're just gonna go.
I don't know if maybe I'm smoking too much, but I feel like if I have like CBD gummies that I'll take before bed. I'll take it an hour before I'm ready to go to sleep, and it'll help me get sleepy. Now, if I stay up too long, then I'll start to feel a certain kind of way and shit like that. But if I smoke, like if I'm on the road and we're staying at like a condo or something like that, and a comic's got some weed and I'll smoke it. I don't know if I'm smoking too much, but I just get I get stoned.
Yeah. Oh,
And I'm like, I don't know how the fuck y'all function. Like
everybody's
because I'm just
chemistry
like,
is
it's just
different too,
in
man.
this fog and this like, I don't know. I don't know if you've heard all the jokes I do about getting high on stage, but that's a lot. The vast majority of that shit is true. I mean, it's obviously embellished for stage and comedy, but it's all rooted in, like, I really thought I had on contacts one night. And I don't. That shit is, I didn't actually send a deposit of cash to my bank through my phone, but I thought I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to.
I think some of how it's introduced. So weed was introduced to me as a functionality substance, and I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease in like 2008 or 2007. I was really sick, bro. And they put me it put me in the hospital when I got diagnosed with it. And I got out of the hospital, and they put me on this medicine. I think it was called Asacol. And Asacol caused my kidneys to stop working right. So then I got put back in the hospital again. So then I got out, and they put me on another one called Pentasa. And Pentasa started shutting my liver down. My body reacted really bad to Pentasa. And I did one more medicine. It was an infusion, and it really caused some really bad. I was so... Rachel said it looked like I was dying because I was just so fatigued. I couldn't do anything. I just sit on the couch at medicine.
Damn.
My fingernails turned to paper. My hair was falling out and stuff. And my father-in-law, I couldn't eat, which was wild for me. And it was like 3 days of not really eating much. And I was sick, didn't feel good. And my father-in-law said, he was an old hippie. You know, he's an old hippie cowboy. My father-in-law.
If you need a light, oh yeah, there's a story.
He goes, fella, I got something that's going to make you want to eat. And he rolled up a joint like this long, and we smoked it in the living room. And I remember I looked up at Rach at some point. I was like, hey, could I have a peanut butter sandwich? And she was like, hell yeah. And she went maybe like 4 of them, you know. And I started smoking weed that night to help with the Crohn's disease symptoms. 3 days later, I was back at work doing construction.
No shit.
Bro, I just never looked back. And I have to go get my stuff checked out, but I've been in remission for like I think this time it's like 9 years.
No shit. It's amazing, man. It's amazing how much it helps, like how much cannabis and weed helps with stuff.
It doesn't fix everything, though.
No.
There's a lot of misnomers. I went to the eye doctor this year to get my annual eye checkup, and my eye doctor, Dr. Wynn, he's funny. He said, Jerry, I worry you have signs of glaucoma. And I was like, that's impossible.
Sir, there's no way. You need to go back to school.
I've been pre-medicating for it for like 18 years, bro. There's no way I got the glaucoma.
There's absolutely no way.
And then he was like, yeah, it doesn't fix that. And he
really?
He told me all kinds of stuff.
That'd be like...
turns out I don't got the glaucoma, but he was wrong anyways. But I was like, yeah.
Well, maybe he was wrong about his research.
I have bad eye pressure in one eye, but it's from that accident where I hit the back of the head and all the damage. So all your optical nerves, they tie into your medulla oblongata and whatnot back here.
Yeah.
And that's why you get hit on the back of the head, it can jack with your eyesight and everything really bad. So
shit.
Like this eye leaks a lot and it twitches all the time.
Really?
Yeah, ever since that.
And how long ago was that again? 2014?
2015.
Oh, 15. Damn, dude.
But it's a lot. It's once you meet a lot of people, a lot of football players and stuff that have it. It's like once it happens, you just kind of stuck with it. So they can't really fix it.
Damn.
It's not like a surgery or nothing like that where they can just go and snip something and make it right.
B. Hannon said Crohn's is no joke. My brother has it.
Yeah, it can be a first-class son of a bitch. I'll tell you that.
Joe Bro said, God damn, medicine's going to kill him worse than the health problems. Because of all you having the medicines that caused more problems.
No, that's what they were killing me, man.
It sounds like
before my wedding, dude. Like we were
no
supposed
shit.
to be getting married, and they spent like 2 months trying to kill me, bro. Yeah, it was wild, man. But like I said, it's been in remission for a long time, and then last year I got really serious. When I flew to Africa last year, I was 364 pounds.
Was that the heaviest you've been?
Yeah, I was miserable.
What were you like normally before that?
Like I'd say like anywhere between 260 and 300. Mm-hmm. I've always been a big boy, but I also worked in construction most of my life, so I was strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Country strong.
When I left for Africa, I was so I felt so weak. And just, I felt so bad. It was all walking, and it was in the desert and the jungle, and it was just hot and miserable. And you've done bases, you know how it is. There's not a lot of comfortable places.
I've never done
there's just nowhere.
What they call it, a USO.
Military bases are not comfortable places. You know, they're not designed to be comfortable. They're designed for people who are working all the time, doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So I was so miserable that whole trip, and I was trying to have a good trip and enjoy the experience, but my legs started swelling and stuff, and that scared. I did like 19 flights in 20 days. And my legs started swelling real bad, and got fluid on them, and it scared me, man. I came back from Africa, and I was like, all right, bro, well, you're 45 at the time. You're 45. Do you want to die before 50, or this is probably your last chance to turn this around? You know what I mean? Fat people don't live a long time. It's just not a thing they do.
Yeah.
So I came back, and I went to a doctor, and he did blood work. He's like, well, he said, there's nothing like wrong with you. You're not pre-diabetic. Your cholesterol's not bad. He said, you're a little sugar resistant, a little insulin resistant, but he said not even to the pre-diabetic level. And he
Damn,
said,
you were
really,
346 and nothing was wrong.
he's at 364.
Or 364.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bro, no heart. My heart was great. My lungs was good.
Damn.
And he's like, quit smoking, start exercising, eat some food, eat better food, eat a better diet. And he said, you got a chance to turn this around with no long-lasting damage, besides maybe some loose skin or whatever. So I did, I had never been into lifting weights and doing all that stuff. It wasn't my thing. And I bought a gym membership, and I just started going and walking on the treadmill, and that was making me feel better. I was like, all right. So then somebody got me into weightlifting, and I started lifting weights. I really started burning fat lifting weights, because you're building strength, building muscles. Muscles require so much caloric intake. And then I just did, I changed my diet such a way that, I started using a food diary, which is not like oh, dear diary, I had cantaloupe today. Made me sad. No, whatever, it's like,
dear diary,
just
I hate
tracking my
salad.
calories and my macros and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when I started logging all my food and saw how much I was really eating and how much terrible food I was eating all the time, I was like, oh, well, now this all makes sense. Now I know why I look like this and why the guy on TV can eat a hamburger once a week and he doesn't look like this. Yeah, because I'm eating 2 hamburgers a day, 6 days. You know what I mean? I knew it laid it all out for me. And so it made it easier to cope and start changing the way I eat. And now I'm eating so much cleaner. I'm not losing weight really fast, but I lose about a pound a week, or half pound a week. But I just keep feeling better from
That's
all the
good,
weight.
dude.
The gym has given me my life back. It's wild, man. I ran around the yard with the kids the other day for no reason.
What?
Yeah, this is wild as shit. I just took off running. I didn't even know I could still do it.
And I bet that made you happy, bro.
Oh, bro, we had such a good time. I was like, and I just feel I could go upstairs and I'm not out of breath and winded, for 15 minutes afterwards. So,
Dude, that's fantastic, man. Congratulations on that.
I really feel it on stage, and I didn't even realize I was feeling bad on stage.
Really?
I didn't realize how winded I was after a 45-minute show. And now it's now I'm let's go get some food. Let's go do something. You know what I mean? Now I'm wired up when I come off stage.
There was a point where I would get winded on stage. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's weird, but at my heaviest, I could remember being like, shit, I'm out of breath just talking. This is wild. Why am I out of breath just standing here talking? Because I would do an act out or something, I'd be like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That's how out of shape I was.
Bit, the preacher bit, the Pentecostal preacher bit where I start hopping around and testifying. Yeah. And I used to do that at the end of my act. One night, Jesse Fake come to me after the show. He goes, I know why you do that at the end of your act now because you can't breathe after you do it. I was off in the green room. Having an asthma attack.
That's hilarious. Hey, what's up, DJ Matty? Thank you for the resub, buddy. 24 months, man. Appreciate that. He said it's National Coconut Cream Pie Day. Why would you bring that up right now, asshole? Alan Dinson said that's awesome. Yeah, man, it really is. How much have you lost?
I'm down. I stopped weighing myself after I got out of the 300 club.
Oh, that's smart.
Because I just
so you're under 300?
Yeah, I'm under 300 now.
Dude, congratulations,
I think
bro.
It's 290, 295, somewhere in there.
So my goal is, I want to get under 200 because I used to, before I met my wife, we started dating in 98. I was 150.
Oof.
Yeah. But it was it wasn't it was skinny 150.
I think you got too much head for that now. You're not going to be able to sport that look. You're going to look like that old weatherman, whatever it is. Al Roker, whatever the hell.
But
Don't do it, Barry. Stay at 180.
I had abs and I still had muscle and shit. And, man, I feel like my appropriate rate's probably 170.
Probably. Were you 5'10"?
Well, yeah, I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
That's what I think. That's what they always tell me. They're like, "You're supposed to be about 180," and I'm like,
you're like,
we're shooting
no.
for 250. We hit 250. I'm having a Whataburger, calling it a win. You know what I mean?
So I was 220
Nice.
when I started, and I'm 205 now. So I'm like, first goal is just to get under 200.
And some guys carry it different. Everybody has a different genetic frame, and not the big bone thing. That's the dumb. But some people do have different framework. They carry their weight differently, regardless of their height or whatever.
Yeah.
I've known dudes that were my height, but if you saw them at 180 pounds, they'd look like a Holocaust victim. Like they would be so drawn up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it depends on your muscle build and everything. You know?
That's what people always say. Man, you don't look that like you weigh that much. I'm like, well, you ain't seen me naked, so yeah. Brian, what's up, Brian Pettit? Good to see you, buddy.
National Cream Pie Day. So
Yeah.
you act right.
Brian Pettit said, congratulations. Hey, Defense Dad said, Jerry, honestly, seeing your workouts on Facebook finally got me off my ass to go to the gym. I'm down 50 pounds in the last 45 days.
Man, that's awesome,
I'm
dude.
a big bitch and need to do better for my kids. Let's go, man.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what's up.
Congrats, dude.
You know, the first time I posted one of those, I was like feeling really vulnerable about it. Like, this ain't like comedy. This is like my fat ass in the gym sweating.
That's a scary thing, dude.
The angles are not good. And I was like, I shouldn't have done that. But then I had so many people that were, not only were they supportive, but so people like Defense Dad is like, man, that makes me think I need to take charge of my situation or whatever, you know. And so that's kind of like helped me keep going too, helped me stick with it, you know, especially, and I'm just like everybody else, you know, I have a week where I haven't been to the gym in 3 days, but I've been filming every day and doing stuff every day. And so I'm like, I told Rachel, I was like, I got to go to the gym first thing in the morning. Yeah. I got
That's
to do
good,
the gym
dude.
in the morning. I got kids vocal lessons for my kid, and I'm going to go hit the gym before I go to the vocal lessons. And then I'll probably do a couple hard days in the gym throughout the end of the week to kind of, but I go to, so you're traveling sometimes, it's hard to eat right and stuff.
Yeah.
I log all my macros. I log everything, and that has become really helpful to me because a lot of times you can eat something that's high in protein and maybe it's got some fat and some sugar or whatever, but the protein macro is so important to helping you build muscle and help you function, help your brain function. That's like, okay, well, next week I'm just not going to eat any of that, but I'll do it tonight while I'm on the road or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
The road is tough for me, and you know,
fast food's got I have a sodium issue, so that's the one thing I do have in my blood work. I don't have any heart issues, I don't have any of that stuff. But the reason my legs were swelling is because I had way too much sodium in my blood or in my diet or whatever. Yeah. So now I've gone like real low sodium on everything, and I just don't do a lot of salt anymore. Which food still tastes pretty great, you know, after I got my mouth desalted, you know, for a month. Yeah. At first I was like, what the hell is this? You know,
this tastes awful.
It is really, now I'm like, oh, man. And so, but that got rid of all the leg swelling and all that stuff was cutting the sodium down. So that was scary, man. When some part of your body's not acting right, that's scary, man. That's heart attack shit. That's, you know, bro, your feet get fatter for no reason because you got on an airplane. Especially at our age, man.
They
look like a busted can of biscuits popping out of my shoe. It was so bad, bro.
Especially at our age, man. You know, at 70, you're like, okay, well, I'm 70.
Yeah.
This is supposed to happen,
46,
I guess.
Man, I still got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, you're like, no, this is too young.
I can't clock out early. I ain't finished nothing.
I got wife and kids, and I just got a lot of videos to make.
I waited late to have kids, so my kids are young, you know. I'm like, bro, I got to stick around at least 60.
Yeah,
you know,
no
just
shit.
Get them through high school.
No shit. B. Hannon said I had a soy sauce issue. Is that your thing, B. Hannon? Soy sauce? That's a weird thing to be addicted to. Soy sauce? Really?
Boy, did your legs swell? That's a lot of sodium and MSG. Yes?
No, that's weird. That's a weird condiment to be addicted to.
I'm not a big condiment person. Are you a condiment person?
Not like.
Like, can you eat a dry sandwich?
I think it depends, right? Like, if I throw it in the microwave, yeah. If I melt the cheese, yeah, I could probably do that. because I'll do that sometimes. Like the other day, I was in a rush to get the show started. So, by the way, get you another drink, bro. Crack open that Uncle Nearest 84.
Oh yeah, man. I love that stuff.
And try this. If you haven't tried this, get you a little sip of that
Let me
too.
do that first.
Yeah, try that.
I know I love Uncle Nearest. I had that in Nashville. That was a whole.
Yeah, try this. It's that's really good. That was the bottle I was telling you about. That Christopher Hart gave me that bottle. That 60 bottle. That's a. I don't even know what it is. I got that bottle. What is it called again? It's
William Price.
William Price. They're local. Yeah, they're local, and that was I always help him out every year. He runs the Houston Bourbon. What's it called? Is it, he heads up the Houston Bourbon Society, and it's the Houston Whiskey Social. Yeah, and they're in like their 7th or 8th or whatever. I don't know, whatever it is, but I always run the door for him. I'm kind of just greeting everybody. He likes to have somebody that's social and can make people laugh while they're.
I remember when those events started having some of y'all.
Yeah, waiting in line and shit, and so they give us a bottle of whatever we want every year. And so I was like, I don't know what to take, bro. I don't know shit about this. He was like, man, take that. That's a $60 bottle. And so I grabbed it, and it's good. But yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be good.
There's this whiskey I like. It's Balcones Blue Corn, made right here in Texas. They got bought by somebody else, but it's real fine whiskey. You know. It used to be pretty high dollar. I don't know where it's at now. I hadn't bought it in a long time. But I went to an event. These people booked me to do this show out north of Austin. It was one of the wildest gigs, bro. They called the money was good. The money was insane. Money was good. I asked them for a stupid number, and they said okay. And I was like, I left money on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't you hate that, bro?
And I'm telling you, it was a stupid number. I'm not going to rub it in anybody's nose because that's chicken shit, but it was a stupid number. And I was like, I didn't want to do this gig because they said it was at a neighborhood POA. Right? Like thing like this. So I was like, oh, this is going to suck balls. Yeah. I want the money. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So as we're ramping up to the gig, they start asking me, like, hey, what kind of whiskey do you like? Yada, yada, yada. And so I just fucking around. I was like, oh, I like Balcones Blue Corn, and I like Evan Williams Single Barrel, you know? Like,
Pappy, I like a little Pappy.
Listen, Pappy Van Winkle, and Uncle Nearest.
We're going for it. Let's go for it.
I want the secret whiskey that Uncle Nearest's daughter made that nobody knows about. I want Sister Nearest's whiskey, you know?
Like, I want Aunt Nearest.
Auntie.
Yeah, Auntie Nearest, yeah.
So I get out to the gig. It's north of Georgetown. It's like about an hour out of Austin. But it's a neighborhood, and these neighborhoods are building now are insane. It's definitely a wealthy neighborhood. They built the neighborhood, and then they built this community center that is like a state-of-the-art country club. It's one of the nicest places I've ever seen in my life. It's beautiful. And they had food trucks, and they had 280 people in chairs ready for a show, bro.
What?
It's me and Stephen Farmer. Guy books a bass drop every day. I love Stephen.
Oh,
Stephen was hosting it.
Steve's great. I just did bass drop last weekend.
Yeah, it was one of Stephen's buddies that put this gig together.
Steven's fantastic,
and,
bro.
I don't remember the guy that featured. I don't remember him. But we went out there. So I go and they take me to where the green room is, and they bring this silver tray out, and it's got all these crazy ass whiskey I asked for. Oh, and I'm like,
on a silver tray,
like a rolling tray cart thing, and it's just stacked with high dollar whiskey.
That's fantastic.
So I had a 1 liter Coke bottle, and I went and rinsed it out in the bathroom because I had to drive 6 hours. I couldn't enjoy the whiskey, so I poured that Coke bottle full of that Balcones Blue Corn and put it in my car.
That's the most country shit I've
ever
heard.
I drank Coke bottle Balcones Blue Corn whiskey the next night when I got home. I got door
That's
up.
fantastic. I'd have just slipped that shit. Hey, can I take this? Am I allowed to take this? That's fantastic, dude.
Well, that's what Rachel does now, or they do now on my rider now. So it says, it always says Evan Williams Single Barrel or Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. That's my other favorite.
Yeah.
And they're not super expensive, so people buy them. And so it's there in the green room whenever we get to the theater or whatever, and then I just go put it in the car like, keep my whiskey stock up.
Hey, man. That's what it's for.
You can't really enjoy whiskey if you got to drive 4 hours that night. You know what I mean?
Hell no.
That was like in Sour Lake. We was in Sour Lake. They had everything, bro. We could have
God.
We could have lived there that night and just got hammered and shared that damn bed.
That was right, dude. That was the weirdest, coolest gig.
That dude was so neat, man. I enjoyed working.
He was.
I like doing that. I hope more people do stuff like that. That was a cool representation of how to do a listening room, and I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
And they were there for it, bro. You would have killed it. They were there for it. They did this weird intermission, which is terrible for stand-up.
Don't ever do that. That was
terrible. But
yeah.
Barry went back up after the intermission, got them right back with one joke. That's how they were just ready, man.
Yeah, they were there. It was this. It was basically just this dude's property in Sour Lake. So a lot of deckheads. So they came from my show on ESPN, and ESPN has a big listening contingent in Beaumont because
because there's nothing else to do.
Well, the tower.
Listen to a man in a box tell you how things are happening elsewhere.
The tower.
Turn the magic box on, Daddy. I want to hear how the stick players are doing.
Turn the man in the box on.
Sorry, that's Silsby, not Beaumont.
The tower is in Mont Bellevue. And so the signal is actually better in Beaumont than it is in Houston. If you go to Katy, you can barely get ESPN 97.5 in Katy. But you can get it crystal clear in Beaumont. So we always had a really good following in Beaumont. So we would do a ton of remotes, and so ESPN 97.5 and our show was really big in Beaumont and in the surrounding areas, Golden Triangle and all that. So in fact, there were people at that show that came up to me. You're like, bro, I loved your show.
I remember.
I miss you on the radio. And I was like, oh shit, it's crazy, dude. Yeah. It still happens 4 years later.
That's wild.
Like 4 years later, I still get people that come up, man, I missed The Usual Suspects. I missed the show.
I've never
I love
had
that.
anybody come up and go, I missed you on the Outlaw Day show. It's never happened.
But,
not one time in 9 years. It's pretty much just been, oh, you were on that? I didn't even know you were on that.
Oh, wow. That's
He's
great.
great, though.
Yeah, I miss him. But that.
And Dave is great. I love Dave.
Oh, yeah. He's fantastic. I'm glad he's back, too.
Dude, I said that the other night. I was driving through Houston. I went to Secret Group, did a quick set, just pop-in set, and working some material out, and I was cruising. I had my windows down, just enjoying downtown, and Outlaw Dave comes on the radio, and I was like, this feels right, man. This feels right again.
Yeah. Outlaw Dave on air in Houston.
He's just part of the history of the city at this point,
It's supposed to
man.
be, yeah. Jeff Rusiecki. Did I get that right, Jeff? Jeff Rusiecki. Let me know in the chat.
I think that's one of my people. That name sounds
Oh, yeah,
familiar.
yeah. I don't recognize it. I like Defense Dad, Jeff Rusiecki, Greg Rochon.
Yeah, Greg Rochon.
I don't know this Rachel Carr chick. I don't know who that is. He said he definitely snores less. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Kenny Miller. Yeah, so there's a bunch of Wayners in here. Yeah, but Jeff said JW needs to do more shows around Tyler.
I did the first show in East Texas that I've done ever.
Excuse me.
I think Jeff was at that show, if I remember right. I might be wrong. I may have him mixed up with somebody else. You know, sometimes it's hard. But I did the first show I've ever done back home, and this year, and it was a success by any standard. And Rachel ran the whole thing, put the whole thing together, and it was just fantastic. We were at the Mod Cop Convention Center in Longview, Texas. It was a tremendous evening. We had a hell of a good night that night.
Because that's where you're from, right? That's your area.
Yeah, I'm originally from a little strip of land between Kilgore and Overton, and it's called Leverage Chapel, and it's just it's like 800 people, small little bitty town. My school class when I was a kid in school was like 12.
What?
Bro, by the time we got to third grade, we were down to 9.
What?
Yeah, second grade busted some.
We started losing people. They just quit.
Once they broke cursive out, we lost a lot of good men. You know, things got tricky.
Hey, we got a memorial at the school.
We lost some scholars, but gained some muffler men. You know what I mean? Like it's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Get some muffler, man.
All right, there's some fellas in Kilgore tell you about mufflers, bro.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
that's hilarious, bro. That's so funny. Oh, God. 12.
Yeah, my kindergarten class is 12.
Dude, that's
it literally was whittled down to like
crazy.
9 or 10 by the time we got to third grade.
How long were you there?
I moved to Houston like 5th grade. Like we moved to A-Leaf. Well,
Boy, I bet that was culture shock.
First, we moved to Denver Harbor.
Oh.
That didn't go great for me.
Oh, I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I always remember it was like, man, you ever had your ass whooped? Like, I ever had my ass whooped. Boy, there was a whole year there where that's all I did was get my ass whooped. Yeah, bro. And then we moved to A-Leaf, which was equally complex and challenging for a young man that sounded like this, you know?
Was it? I
and at
imagine.
that point, hadn't realized certain words had been taken off the menu. But I learned it. They taught me.
Oh, so I can't say that.
They taught me what words are on the menu and what words were not. Just a handful, but
It's just a couple. That's
couple
funny,
pertinent
dude.
ones.
Yeah. I can't imagine. And
yeah,
that-
I always say we were so poor when we lived in Denver Harbor, and everybody around me was so poor that I got beat up after school for my Payless knockoff Air Force once. My knockoff Payless Air Jordans, my Pro Wing Air Jordans. I got robbed for them.
That's how bad it was. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. I imagine. I was going to ask you. It sounds like it was culture shock, huh? I mean, when you go from a class of 9
that's mostly what it was. It was going that and then going to class of like 40 kids and having to like change classes.
Yeah.
We had one teacher that taught everything. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
There was a 2nd grade teacher. There was a 3rd grade teacher. There was not a math teacher and an English teacher.
Right.
It was just one dude swinging at all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and they didn't hit all the marks appropriately, right?
They didn't know.
Some of them were stronger at nothing academic than they were. You know, it was just.
They were just good at
They
cursive.
were just good at showing up every day. You know what I mean?
They're like, look, I'm here. Okay, you're gonna get what you get.
I've shown up for this terrible paycheck, and I'm here, and I haven't touched a kid. So, can I keep the job? Yeah, cool.
I didn't touch a kid.
The 80s were a different time. You just pretty much had to not molest a kid. You could. be a
You were
teacher.
in. That's
Yeah.
so funny, dude.
I was
That's
like when
so
they had
true.
that teacher shortage a couple years ago here in Texas that was so bad, and then especially during COVID, all the teachers were quitting because they're like, I'm not doing this the rest of my life. This is horrible. And then they were like, okay, so for the first time ever in Texas school districts, you don't have to have a teaching certificate. Like you just had to have gone to college. Like drove by one? Like
Gone to college. Now, wait, what does that mean? Because I went to a party at a college once. Does that count?
Yeah.
Like,
I dated a girl who went to Lone Star for a while.
Does
Did I get a teaching job? You know?
does that's wild. I know this is like boring and mundane, but Texas is so messed up right now because like HISD was in the shitter. And so Texas is like, hey, we're taking over HISD because y'all really screwed this up. And then last night I see on the news, they're like, oh, our budget's all messed up. I'm like, well, bitch, you took it over?
Yeah.
How do you mess that up?
Yeah, I was like, y'all took something messed up over and messed it
And
up
then
worse.
messed it up
That's
even
wild.
worse.
That's right.
At least they were cooking the books so we didn't
Hopefully
know.
the federal government gets involved next.
And
Please come help us, Daddy Biden. Take over the teaching. I'm sure y'all will do fine at it.
Oh, please. Yeah, let
y'all
us
did
know.
so good with the railroad and the post office. I'm sure that teaching's going to be a smash.
Ah, that's hilarious, man. What is this? Oh, Total Dallas said pretty much need warm bodies. Yeah, Total Dallas is a teacher.
Oh,
He's a teacher in the chat.
yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're just really, it's rough, man.
Yeah, Total Dallas. He teaches math. Are you a high school teacher? What grade do you teach? I know he's a math teacher in high school, but I don't know what grade he teaches. My mom was a teacher in the 80s. Bro, I don't have the patience. First of all, I don't even like kids. I mean, it's not that I don't like kids. I just don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love my little nieces and nephews and all that bullshit, but like, I never wanted kids, but there's no way I could teach other people's kids.
Man, I
Especially today.
for a while thought I'd be good at it. I don't think I have the patience or the temperament now, but I did. I'm probably more patient now, but there was a time where I thought that I would be good at that, but I didn't pursue it at all.
Dude, today though, and then because today, dude, kids will.
Then I became friends with a bunch of teachers, and they're all on drugs. You know what I mean? Like, all my teacher friends are high all the time.
Well,
They're
that's
not at
true.
school.
There's several comics that are teachers, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't want you teaching my kids if
bro,
I had them.
I don't even want you to know my kid's name. Right?
Oh my God, what?
I went to a party one night in Shepherd Oaks with a bunch of teachers, and literally I like went in to use the bathroom, and somebody's like, it's in the top shelf, and I was like, what?
What is?
And I opened the drawer, and there's
plan?
like a bunch of baggies and keys, and I'm like, okay, all right. Bro.
Yeah, this is not a lesson plan. This is something totally different. Total Dallas teaches 11th and 12th grade. Oh my God.
Buddy. Hats off to you.
I just feel like any grade would be tough, man, because kids just don't give a shit.
Daycare for trouble, man.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded or skewed in my thoughts because all I ever really see on TV or social media is when a kid fights a teacher, and then the parents go up and they're mad because the teacher fought the kid back. I'm like, well, if your kid comes up and punches me, I'm whooping his ass. Like that's just.
I just see all the fights between the kids, and I don't want to be anywhere near around that. They beat the hell out of each other now. I thought we were rough on each other when we were kids. These kids now are doing Fight Club in the bus drive. You know, and just fight to the death. It's like rough, bro. I saw a dude get knocked out in a bathroom. I was like, man, what? Where are the teachers? They quit.
Yeah, they're in the lounge doing coke.
They're not getting knocked out in the bathroom. Is what they're doing.
Yeah, they're not dumb shit. They got
some of them kids now with the antibiotics and the chicken. They're big as hell, man. They ain't the same size as they was when I was going to school, bro.
Oh my God.
Some of these high schoolers look like grown ass man, like you ought to be paying taxes. You know?
Yes.
Like, bro, you cannot have that much hair on your neck and not have to go to HR tax every year like me. That ain't right, you know.
Dude, you're right, dude. I remember I was little in high school, and I mean, I guess I was average size, but you're right. There was maybe, there was a handful of kids that you were like,
bro, I saw a picture of you from your prom. You had that flat top up to here, bro. Oh, it was kid without the play, man. It was just straight up. Y'all don't know, man. Homeboy had a flat top. Like, it was impressive.
Yeah.
You're from that age just a little bit before me that we were fascinated with y'all. We were trying to be y'all.
You're like, what is this cat?
Make his hair stand up so high. It's wild, man.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 96.
Oh, yeah. I graduated in 92. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, y'all had Vanilla Ice. Y'all had some fun stuff happening while you were in high school.
Man, we had, it was like the beginning of it. Because it's funny, at my school.
That's the year Kennison got killed. It's also the year Bill Hicks died, I think. Died pretty close the same year.
That's true,
They're like a year apart, I think, when they died. That's a lot of while. The guy from Sublime died. Oh, that's 95, a little later.
Yeah, 92. Like when was Rodney King? It was around that time,
Rodney King was 92 or 94. Was Rodney King 94? I think it was 94 was the Waco, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rodney King was after.
94 is
Rodney
Oklahoma
King was
City.
after I graduated.
94 is Oklahoma City.
Right. Oh, I saw you went to that memorial, by the way.
Yeah, man.
How was that?
It was
all the times I've been to OKC and the OKC Looney Bin, I've never gone.
I had some like feelings about it because it happened when I was in school, and my dad was in OKC working in the building caddy corner from that building that day, and he was there. The company he worked for was headquarters in that building right there, caddy corner from that federal building. And so this is before cell phones and stuff. So I came home I got sent to the principal's office, and I guess I was probably already driving, and the principal told me I needed to go home, and he didn't tell me why. And so I went home, and I go in the house, and my mom's just bawling. She's watching the news and bawling. She's sitting by the phone, and it's all over the news. It's happened, blah, blah, blah. We didn't even hear about it in school, it was before they did that to kids. And my mom was just worked up because she couldn't get a hold of my dad. Well, what happened is the FBI went into all those. Well, first of all, my dad and all them got knocked on their ass when it happened, like off their feet.
Really?
From the concussion. It blew all the windows out of the building they were in. But then the FBI also went in and questioned everybody for like 24 hours and held people.
Oh, yeah.
And all those, so he couldn't call us, so we didn't get a phone call from him for like a day or 2 days.
Oh, that's
and
scary.
my mom was just, they were just still pulling the baby's body. It was just horrible. It was one of the most horrific things any of us had ever witnessed at that point. And even as a young person, I understood the depravity of it and the violence of the situation and, with the kids and stuff. And so I had all these like kind of big fish. So we were there and I was like, I haven't been in OKC in forever and I've never seen this thing. So I just walk. It's very eerie. There's a quiet sort of stillness about it.
Really?
People speaking in hushed tones. It's not like a lot of places you go where people are just being themselves. There's a feeling of somberness, like when you walk down in there and when you see all them little chairs for all them kids, and it's just, it got me, man. Because then we were driving back to Texas, and I tell you, if I didn't think about it all 8 hours of that drive back to Houston, I guarantee you I did, because I was just rolling it around in my head, the violence of the situation. Like, what a ugly pockmark on our history, Well, we got lots of them, but that's a really gnarly one,
Yeah.
It's stuck
especially
with
having
me.
somebody so close to it too.
Yeah, it was just wild, So I just kind of wanted to think about that and check it out, see like how I felt about it, and I also got expelled from school like the next year over something related to it, because we had this teacher and she was foreign. I think she was African. And she had a really stiff accent, and I was a shithead. And I came into class, and I was having trouble with algebra. I had hell with algebra in school. And so I was having trouble with algebra, and I would go during my VICA co-op class that she was substituting. I would go to this program called RAVE, where they would help you study for your task test and stuff and tutor you for free in school. So I was supposed to go to rave that day, so I tell the teacher, I'm like, hey, Miss Whatever, I'm supposed to go to rave. And she's like, nobody's going anywhere. Nobody will go anywhere today. I am your teacher. Sit down. And I was like, so I sat down, and I remember I was like, this is bullshit, and my friends were laughing. I was kind of cut up. I go, I don't pass that TOS test. I'm gonna blow up the damn school, Just a joke.
Oh, shit.
Bro. And she said, this is the wildest thing. She sends me to the principal office. Principal, by that point, I was a bit of a troublemaker. He's already tired of dealing with me. Mm-hmm. He's like, just go home. That's like a Friday. Monday morning, we get a call before school telling me that I've been expelled for making bomb threats against the school. But they weren't worried about it Friday. They just sent me home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Friday, they were just like, go home. We'll figure this out over the weekend. That you made this bomb threat, And then they cooked up that. So all this crap happened. They were going to expel me out of school. My dad worked for these two Jewish brothers, Joel and Scott Bender, that owned this big valve company, right? And they were very wealthy, and they knew other people in town of the persuasion, the culture. And one of them asked my dad what he was all worked up at work about. And he was like, this thing's happened to my son. They're like, well, he didn't really threaten the school, though. He just made a joke, and they're going AWOL about it. And he's like, yeah, but there's nothing I can do about it. Well, one of them apparently knew Marvin Zindler. And called Marvin Zindler's people and were like, hey, can Marvin get involved in this? Call the school or something. So basically Marvin's people called the school superintendent like, yeah, we want to do a report on this and da-da-da-da-da. He's like, he's not expelled. He's what? That must be some miscommunication. He's just in school detention for a couple days for making, no. There's no expelling going on. Why ain't he at school? Tell him to get to school.
It
was over that quick, and I bet Marvin never even knew about any of it.
Hell
Probably
no.
two of his producers handled it,
Dude, that's great.
Yeah,
you got lucky as shit. Yeah, you got lucky as shit, because,
My dad worked for them rich Jewish guys. They had connections.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was wild, man. I remember that. So then
Yeah,
I
that's
got,
talk about too soon. Yeah, a year after that.
I didn't even think, to me, it wasn't even about that. It was just, I was frustrated.
You're like, bitch, I'll blow this. Yeah.
But that's one of those things where I was like, okay, words can get you in trouble. Gotta be careful.
You're like, well, all right. Learn that lesson real quick. Heartthrob said, in school detention, the glory days. Did you spend a lot of time in detention and shit? Man. Were you like the class clown?
I really wasn't, but my friends say I was. Now I don't remember it feeling like that to me. I remember being a little bit of a smart aleck and getting in trouble a lot for miscommunications.
Is what you call it.
I like to feel like I had trouble.
I feel like there's a revisionist history here.
It's like it's a war of northern aggression against me. You know what I mean? Them Yankees running that school district were out for me already. You know, they didn't like the way I talk.
They're doing this to me. I'm not doing this to me.
I never feel like I was that person, but my friends described me as that person. But I did spend quite a bit of time in school detention.
Yeah.
We called it SAC.
SAC.
I don't remember what that stood for. Stupid ass clown. I don't know. I talked a lot. Like I was disruptive. Yeah.
But it was always good natured. I just always had jokes.
Yeah, I was never mean. I was just always screwing around, you know. Like I got in trouble one day for singing the Thunderbolt Transmission song in class.
God, I still know all the words.
I wish I.
Why do I still know all the words?
My buddy started singing it, and I thought it was kind of funny, so I just went whole ham and started singing it with him. And then all of a sudden, it was like, by the time we got to the last chorus, it was the whole class had joined in. Like, we put the and I just remember Mr. Bland stood up. Mr. Longmire come to my office. I was like, here we go.
Well, did that.
In school detention.
Yeah, I was one of those dudes. I just had a joke about everything. You know what I mean? A comment, and really, it was just to get the laughs.
So when did you stop doing that?
I don't think I ever have. Kiss my ass, Jerry. I just got it. You just kiss my ass.
People in the comment section were already laughing, bro.
Kiss my ass. I didn't even get it at first. Yeah. Well, you should do that on stage.
Try that for a living.
Yeah, you should use those in your set. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't. I told this a couple weeks ago when I had somebody on the show. I in one of my classes, I just had a desk in the hall. I just show up. It wasn't it wasn't
knew where I
mean.
belonged.
Yeah, I would just. It was like
sit there and fuck with the janitor when you walk by. Hey, bro, you see a game last night?
It was like a fifth period math class or some bullshit. Hey, do you know what the answer is to
long
this?
division?
Yeah.
Well, put your mop down. Help me.
Come here real quick. Do this. Put them keys. Shh. Your keys are giving us away here. Yeah. It was crazy, man.
My dad used to say all the time, boy, you ought to be able to make a living running your mouth. Boy, you ought to be able to make a living running that mouth.
Yeah, look at you now.
And then when I became a comic, who the hell told you being a comedian was a good idea?
You did.
I feel like you're giving me contradiction, man.
Especially when you said there ain't no money in art. This is art.
Ain't no money. Ain't no artist ever making money.
Oh, that's hilarious. Told Al said we had a kid in class named Bush. Every time the teacher said Bush, we went beer. Nice.
Billy Bush. Billy Bush. Oh, Billy Bush.
Oh, man. So what was I going to ask you? It was about the, God, we got way off track. How the fuck did we get here? We started.
We just been running.
Yeah, we started on the racing stuff, and I had something. I literally was going to ask you something about, I was like, all right, I'm going to come back to this because I wanted to get to something about the racing stuff. I was like, oh, this is a good question. That's the problem, dude. I don't write this shit down, and I need to because my ADHD fucks with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, this is a really good question. I'm going to ask him.
Well, that's how me and them have actually talked about doing this run this year. So next year, I don't know if it's going to happen yet, but we're talks about it. But next year, the next season, so all their 2-day events or like the big tracks, I would go in Thursday, day before, and do a local theater show. They sponsor it, and we'll give tickets to race fans and stuff like that, and then go do the meet and greets out at the track over the weekend and stuff. So then I get to have my cake and eat it too. I get to do stand up and have my Friday night at the racetrack, having a good time watching dirt track cars.
That is brilliant, man.
I'm hoping it pans out.
So wow. So that's like, yeah, you're just putting a tour together based off
on what
of
they're already touring, and they've already got support. And we've even talked about me riding around with the merch guy and stuff, and he's a good buddy of mine. The guy that runs all the merch for World of Outlaws, and runs their truck trailer
that
up down the road.
Is genius, dude.
It's a good fit. It's a good fit, and it'll allow me to get some places I don't get in Mechanicsburg, PA, and some Eldora Speedway, and get up Knoxville, Iowa, and whatnot. So to get me in some cool places.
Dude, that's genius.
And I get to do a thing I love.
Two things you love
of the week,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. I don't know how you are about the traveling. I try to make mine worth it. I try to travel maybe twice a month and make sure each gig pays for the month. You know what I mean? Like they come in hot.
Yeah.
I'm just done. I'm not doing I did it. I did the live in your car and drive all around the country and drive 6 hours this way one day to make $100 and drive 8 hours back the other way to make 200, and then I'm not doing that bull crap anymore. I'm just not doing it.
Well,
and I'll be honest with you, I don't fund for the clubs anymore. The clubs are not a part of my business model right now. If I work clubs, it's going to be because me and the club reached an agreement but the metrics are just not there.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not there, and we're both friends with Bill, and we've all talked about that. But where you go out and if I can go do one theater in a small town and sell out one show, or maybe even two shows, and make my nut at that theater and make a good chunk of change, why do I want to go be stuck in Louisville for 5 days doing one show a night to 40 people?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not as much fun, living in a hotel and stuff. I'd rather be home with my family.
Well, I'm still at I'll just take what I can get stage. You know what I mean? I don't have that built-in fan base yet where I can just be choosing.
I don't sell well everywhere, but I'm taking some risk and I'm taking some gambles,
Well, that's good, though. Joe Pro said all of Jerry's shop talk videos hit so close to home. That's fantastic. We're going to get to that in a second. But I wanted to, based off of that, did you see, so Ralph Barbosa, right? Yeah.
I don't know him personally, but I know of him.
So Ralph has blown up, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's crazy.
The HBO special thing.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I worked with Ralph maybe 2 years ago. It was right before he blew up. He was here in Houston, and Dusty Slay was in town, and usually when Dusty's in Texas, either me or Zahed will work with him and open for him, right? Zahed Devji. So Dusty was here at the Improv, and actually Ralph was.
Is still here? I thought he went.
No,
to LA.
he's in New York now.
Oh, New York.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did see that.
Yeah, but in this case, so I was hosting, and Ralph was featuring. And, Ralph was just, because Ralph was doing the Secret Groups festival, Come and Take It. And he hadn't really hit yet. He had the HBO Latino special. No, he had, I think, Don't Tell. Or maybe it was HBO Latino. I don't know. But he hadn't hit like he hit yet, right? Well, fast forward, bro. I don't know if you saw this, but he just sold out 16 shows at the Improv in town.
Good for him, man.
16 shows. That's insane.
He
seems like
a good kid.
He's there from Tuesday through Monday. 16 shows starting May 7th. I don't know what today. That was yesterday. So they started yesterday.
But what outside of the monetary?
But think about this, Jerry. I did the math on this. Let's just do conservatively. Ralph he's got 16 shows.
Call it 400 seats.
450, I think, is what the Improv seats. So 450 times 6.
You can tell I've never sold out the Improv. I don't even know how many seats it had.
450 times 16.
400 sounds sold out to me.
450 times 16 shows is 7,200 tickets. Let's just go conservatively and say he does $30 a ticket. Average. And it's going to be more than that. It's going to be probably closer to $40 to $50 a ticket for a Ralph Barbosa ticket right now in Houston, Texas. He's a Texas guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's just call it $30 a ticket. 7,200 tickets times 30. Oh, shit. 7,200 times 30. $216,000.
Yeah.
bro, that's crazy. Now I love the improv.
It's attainable and doable though.
Yeah, but I'm like, if I'm Ralph, next year, I'm just gonna get Jones Hall or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
my question about that is why is he not at the Verizon?
Yeah,
you got 10,000 seats and
only
one show, and then you get to go home and do whatever you want.
Because like, and I'm sure he can
don't have
sell
to live in a hotel room Monday through Friday in Houston.
Monday through Sunday.
Yeah,
and you're, you know what I mean, like. You're probably getting more because you've got VIP and you could, Jesus.
Well, I'm sure he's got a door deal. Surely he's
100%.
You know.
I mean, he's not getting all 216,000, and it's I'm sure it's more than
but
that.
You could probably figure 70% of that, 60 to 70% of that.
Yeah, so let's do times 0.7, $151,000. And I'm not trying to pocket watch Ralph. I'm just saying, first of all, that's amazing.
Yeah, good for him. Though.
Hell yeah.
I like to see it. I like it when it happens to Texas guys. I
have
that sort of down home mentality.
But what's great,
I like to see our guys succeed.
Of course. And what's badass is you go from seeing a guy featuring on the same show as you to 2 years later doing something like that, and you go, oh, this is possible. You just got to grind right, catch a little bit of luck. You know what I mean? And it's possible. But I bring that up to piggyback off of what you said. Is it's like if you've got that fan base, and it's all different levels, right? It's all different levels. But at the end of the day, it's about who am I putting this money into whose pocket?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now the only thing I can think of is
that's a great that when I do these theaters, you do the theaters. It's one of three ways. You do a door deal with the theater, right? And then you got to hope they keep track of shit right. And
right.
I've done some door deals I haven't been happy with because I think they were doing Common Core math, and I'm used to the old kind.
Right. I'm used to the math that actually works.
Money in my pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you could do the buyout where they just buy you out for a flat fee and they sell your show and yada yada yada.
They make what they make, but you get that fee.
And a lot of theaters do want to do that. They want to do the buyout, and so we're working on stuff like that. And then sometimes you can just do a straight. I rent the theater. I rent the theater for 4 hours for $1,200. Everything else is mine. It usually comes with a light person, a sound person, yada yada yada.
Yep.
You know, and they usually have their own staff there. They run the bar and what have you. So those things, man, they could be really like the deal we did in Longview. We had sponsorship for. And Rachel's got a bar come in from down the street and run the bars and everything because we weren't really worried about the liquor. We weren't trying to get the liquor sale money.
Yeah.
We just wanted people to have access to alcohol and whatever drinks and all that kind of stuff. It was a smash success.
Yep.
You know,
for everybody.
Yeah.
The fan, 40 tickets, but get that night. You know what I mean? Because then they can fade that.
And
so it's a
tickets.
Blessing for me, who is not a draw yet. You know what I mean?
We did our online tickets through Mon-Thu, which is a dude. Slade and him grew up together, and that guy we did that show for at the Revenant grew up with this dude. They all call him Dago, but his name's Corey Hidalgo, and he owns Mon-Thu tickets. And I don't even know how they do this number witchcraft, but they give me $1 more per ticket than what I sell my tickets for.
Really?
And they pay all the sales tax. And, I mean, they have fees and stuff they put on the tickets.
Yeah.
So we have to price our ticket accordingly or whatever. But it was such, you know, and Rachel, you know, my management team handles all the, you know, the art and all that stuff and everything. But it's also nice because they're still kind of a small organization that me and Slade were talking about this, and this is what he said to me about it, and it really struck me. But you have a phone number, you have a dude you can call. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If something's not going right, I can pick up the phone and call Dago and
say,
go
"Hey,
like,
man,
hey, what's happening?" You know, or why
I got
is
a problem
doing
with this person, or
whatever. Yeah, anything like that. So it's not like dealing with Eventbrite. I've heard so many people get screwed by Eventbrite over the years. I know personally 4 people Eventbrite owes well over $10,000 to, that they are fighting to get their money, you know. And then I've heard Ticket Tailor's pretty good. It's kind of do-it-yourself type deal. It's just like an internet app.
Yeah.
But so that finding Mon-Thu has been kind of a bonus too. I think I'm going to run a lot of my tickets through him from now on. Just honestly, I like the dude, and I like the payout we got on that first test show with him.
Yeah.
And that guy sold all the tickets for that show at the Revenant too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's got his own mailing list, and he promotes and.
Oh, that's great, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good guy to partner with when you start doing
he's
these,
good.
man.
Corey's good people, man. I like him a lot. I met him working at Outlaw Dave's Bikes on the Bayou event, working at the motorcycle rally.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones I went to. We were really broke, and they offered me a job handing out wristbands for like $20 an hour. And just hanging out, but it was kind of cool because that's when truck astrology first blew up, and so I was handing out wristbands. All these Harley guys like, "Hey man, make fun of my motorcycle, bro." They're coming like, "Oh, you're the truck guy, man!" And so it was kind of cool. I was like, "Oh, okay, this thing is spreading. Like this is growing." Okay,
That's
cool.
badass,
It was
man.
good to see it in person,
Yeah,
which was really cool.
Hell yeah, that's great, dude. I love that that's blowing up. Are you gonna try to introduce more shit? I mean, I know you're doing the Fallout thing.
Yeah, I'm always having fun. Truck astrology is like, I got tired of doing it a long time ago, but the fans love it so much that it was like well, you guys have supported me, so I'm just going to keep doing this for y'all. I don't give a crap if anybody else likes it.
Yeah.
That literally, truck astrology is the one thing I honestly 100% do for the fan base because they love it and they just want more of it. And we're at 55 videos, and they're just like, "When's the next one?" And they come on my other videos. "When's the next truck video?" And I'm like, "Pump the brakes, bro." I'm doing
You're like,
all that
"Hold
stuff
on,
on
yeah."
football right now. So it's one of those. It's their thing that they love, and so it helps them be interactive because they get to send me pictures of trucks, and
Yep.
they get to feel, look, did my truck make it this week, and that kind of stuff. And so I enjoy that, but I'm doing some different stuff with it. I'm breaking up the way I've done it before. Like I did one that was just like a shitbox parade of just junky truck. But the thing I always try to explain to them, this is the true silliness behind truck astrology, is except for 2 exceptions, I have never put a vehicle in a video that I don't absolutely love. If they're in there,
Really?
it doesn't matter what I say about them. I love them. They didn't make it in my video because I thought it was a piece of crap. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like even if I dog it or give it a little bit of the business or whatever, it's something I love. If it's in my video, it's something I love. With 2 exceptions. I put a Ford Maverick in one, and I put a Hyundai Santa Cruz in one. And I do not love those. I despise them with every beat of my heart.
Why?
It's a symbol of the way the pickup truck industry is going. And it's smarter, and it makes more sense, and for a million reasons. But the half-ton pickup is dying in America. And it's such an important part of car culture here that it just makes me sad. I see those little 4-door mom mobiles with a 4-foot bed on them, and I'm like, this is what every half-ton pickup's going to be in 5 years. I tell my fans all the time, if you got a half-ton single cab pickup, I don't care if it's a long bed or short bed, hold on to it.
Yeah.
Hold on to it, because the value in 7 years is going to be just ignorant, because they're not going to be able to get them.
Joe Pro said, "I will never send Jerry a picture of my truck. I can't handle the shame."
He must be a Dodge owner.
What is it, Joe Pro? What is it? I want to know. I got to know now. What is it? Yeah, that'd be interesting. So you keep truck astrology around for the fans.
Yeah, it's just a good way for me to connect with the
Yeah.
diehards, the ones that really support me and stick around, and they're the ones that buy tickets to the comedy shows. It's not so much the comedy fans or the comedy nerds; it's my truck astrology guys. And I love at the end of the night because I
Thought about trying to do like truck astrology or other
I
stuff
don't want
live.
to.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I've had a couple ideas about how to do it over the years. I don't want to mix the two up. I do want the fans to come out and enjoy the live show, But I'd like that to be what it is. That's just something that we do over here in this space, and I don't like mixing it up too much. Now I've done some events where I go out to car shows and kind of do some live walking and talking type stuff, and I love doing that. I'll do that again in a heartbeat. I got invited to the NHRA National Hot Rod Show last year, and that was a lot of fun. The Hot Rod semifinals or whatever the hell in Louisville, and that was a good time. You know, I love that stuff. I love vehicles. I love cars. That's the funniest thing. That's the breakthrough I had with my special that me and Slade. It's the magic of when I first became a comic. Everybody compared me to Larry the Cable Guy because of the way I sounded, and I hated that. I didn't want to be that. That's not what I wanted to be. I thought I was cooler than that. I thought I was. I don't know. I thought I was all these different things, and so I got a flavor saver, and it spiked up my hair. It's like I'm not that guy, And I fought it my entire life, and the thing that finally clicks and works for me is me just being the person I am, talking about the stuff I love, being the little redneck nerd from Leverage Chapel that I am, that just grew up in a junkyard and loves cars and making people laugh. That turns out to be the thing that works. That literally, Mr. Bland told me one day in high school, I would never forget this. Mr. Bland looked at me. I was over there cutting up and causing a problem. Mr. Bland goes, "Damn it, Longmire. You think somebody's just going to pay you to sit around and make your little jokes and talk about cars all day?" And I was like, "No, probably not. I've never seen that at the job fair." And so I went to the oil field like everybody else. And then now here we are.
And here we are.
46. I'm like, bro, you didn't even tell me that was a real job. I would have tried to do it then.
Yeah. It's funny because that's, in comedy parlance, that's, you found your voice in a way. I mean, you already had your voice on stage.
Yeah.
But you not only found your voice, but you were able to just be authentically you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's such a fun thing.
And there's one thing to just be who you are on stage, but it's another thing to incorporate everything you love and everything you're passionate about.
That's where it's getting fun,
And that's where
when you find out there's all these other nerds that love that nerd out about the same stuff. The Fallout thing was big for me because you got the mic over. But when you find out there's this whole group of people that nerd out on the same thing you do, and then to find out you have all these weird crossovers. When I started talking about which that's not that far of a stretch, but when I started getting into the dirt track racing stuff and doing the events, and it turns out half my fans were already dirt track fans and stuff like that. And then I brought a bunch of new fans in from the dirt track stuff, and then do the shop talk. And you're like, oh, these all dudes all grew up with these men. They know these
That's
kind
my
of men.
grandpa. Yeah, that's what people were saying in the chat. Like, those remind me of my family.
I love that because those men, aside from my dad, those men are all gone for me, And that's kind of how I keep them alive. And it's really, honest to God, those three men are in my brain all day, every day.
Yeah.
Every decision I make. I thought about making this series where they're just like on my shoulder. You know what I mean? Just yelling stuff in my ear while I'm trying to make decisions because that's what happens with every decision. I was trying to decide what car insurance to buy. Papa was having $75 a month. Good God Almighty! What do they think you got a Lexus? Like he was hot. And my dad's like, "That's a reasonable price. That's about the going rate right now." And Uncle Larry's like, "Sell that car. Sell that car." So it's like it's a wild thing to like find that you have these people that just love this thing, and then. Like, to even take it a step further, where I was like, I watched that. I've been a lover of the Fallout game series since like about 2010, 2012. And I just immersed myself in that universe. I loved it. When they made that TV show series, it was so good. And I had, of course, my expectations were high, and it exceeded except one. It exceeded a great deal of them. And I was like, oh, my God. And I remember watching it thinking, Papa would be the greatest wasteland trader that you ever ran into the game. And you would never get over on that old man. And so I just started cooking that idea up last week, and I wrote a couple scripts. And then I was like, well, I had to build a set. So I started digging around my garage, like, oh, you have all this 1940s junk. Look at you, guy. You knew this old vacuum cleaner was going to come in handy, And so I just start piling my junk up like, I have a Fallout set already in my
Really living in
garage, bro. This is tremendous.
For those of you that don't know, Fallout's a video game that's like, I was trying to explain this to my wife because I was like, man, I wish you'd watch Fallout with me. I'm like halfway through the second episode, and because I only played the last game.
Well, it's like if
And they
a
haven't made
nuclear
one.
apocalypse happened in the 40s.
But it was an advanced 40s.
Yeah, they were on a different. They were what the 40s thought the future was going to be.
Yeah.
And I
It's like
love
if the
that era of
40s was in the
design and
20
art. I love the Rocketeer. I love all
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
my favorite. One of my favorite era of car designs, of course, is the 40s and early 50s. I just love all that. I love the big, beautiful curved designs and the way they thought the future was going to be. You know, you
Yeah.
can take any 1940s car and stick an atomic fusion core on the back of it, and it's going to look like a Fallout car. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
with some wings on it. And
Oh, yeah.
An atomic generator. You know, it's going to look like a Fallout car. I love the artwork from that game. I
yeah.
love the storylines, the screenplay. So which one do you play? Fallout 4?
Whatever the last one was. I think it's kind of based more off of this. Like,
It's closer in line with what's happening.
So not
with the
the
story
Fallout
in the
76,
TV show
not the
is like past. Okay, so that was Fallout 4.
well, yeah.
That's
So
the one I'm replaying right now.
So Fallout 76 was the online, like
that's
whatever the
multiplayer.
one was before that,
Fallout 4.
where you chose like you were either the Brotherhood
Yeah, you have to
or
decide if you're going to join the Brotherhood of Steel or the
Yeah.
Minutemen. Every time I played that game in the past, I would end up in the Brotherhood of Steel.
yeah.
And it closes off a bunch of options and quests and stuff
Yeah.
for you. So
But that's
it's
the
so nerdy. I'm replaying it right now, but I'm doing everything the opposite of how I've ever done it before. I'm building like a science build, and the guy's like really smart. And he can build all kind of cool power armory, but he can't fight for shit.
Yeah.
You know. So I joined the Minutemen, and I'm just helping the Minutemen do all their missions. And I'm not even I just ignored the Brotherhood of Steel, told them I'd think about it. And never. I shot down a Brotherhood of Steel Velociraptor or whatever the hell they call their little airplanes the other day, and they all come after me, hunted me down in the woods. It was a good time. Yeah.
it's a fun game. I really liked it. A lot of people kind of they were like, it's all right. I'm like, I loved that game. I couldn't wait for the next one. But then I was like, well, it's been forever.
Yeah, I'm
been way
curious
too
to see
long.
what Fallout 5 is going to be like.
Yeah. It's taken forever.
Everything with Bethesda is such a glitchy mess when it first shows up. And you have to really love their games and storylines to stick with it. I just played their newest one. It's called Starfield, and it's basically Fallout in space.
Oh,
And
really?
It's a great game, and there's all kind of cool mods for it. There's a lot, but it's one of those like I ran through it like 2 or 3 times in the beginning, and was like, okay, well, y'all going to have to come out with some new DLC or some new part of the universe I can explore. Get me back in it.
Yeah.
But I am running through Fallout 4 again. I'm enjoying the hell out of that. But I met one of my closest friends playing Fallout 76 during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he's a paramedic and he's a life. I talk about him in my special. He's a paramedic and a life flight technician from Kentucky. Talks just like me.
Really?
Paducah. I used to talk about how scary that'd be like laying in the street and this guy show up out of the helicopter, just whew, I got you, baby. Like,
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna fix you. And you're like,
I'm coming to see you, Lord.
I'm gonna die. Real quick, Joe Pro said you said he probably had a Dodge. He said worse. 2008 Toyota Tacoma 4-wheel drive, stock height, homemade ladder rack.
Oh my God, he's a full-blown Kool-Aid drinker. Them Toyota guys, that was one of the weirdest cults of people that I've ever met. My brother drives a Tacoma though, and I give him shit about it all the time. I like Toyota makes fine product. Toyota has made a great product for a number of years. I just don't. The thing where I get sideways with people is when it comes to the stupidity of brand loyalty.
Oh, yeah?
Don't get me wrong. I know guys are like, oh, I like Ford trucks because I know how to work on them. I get that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But every motor company has had good years, bad years, and they've had good runs and bad vehicles.
Yep.
And everyone, including Toyota. Toyota's had just as many problems as anybody else. They've just been better at fixing them quicker.
Yep.
But, those Toyotas would rust right to pieces, before the engine died because the engines were great, But they all have their little quirks and their little functionality issues and their little flaws and reliability flaws. They've all got bad years, bad decades, and good years. And, I mean, Chrysler had some great years. Chrysler had some fantastic years. There's some great years in Dodge trucks. There's also some really, really bad ones, you know. And same thing with Chevrolet, same thing with Ford, same thing with Toyota, you know. Anything, especially like I never cared for the 3-liter V6s they put in the Toyotas in the early 90s. I just don't. I thought they were underperformers and weak engines, and kind of a pain in the ass. I don't really care for them too much, you know. But I do like the little 22 RE, the little 4-banger. That's a great engine, a little 2.0.
Man, I was never a truck guy until I think I had when I left my first wife, I got a little ass Ford Ranger. I don't even know why I got that car. It was a little step side. It was a piece of shit. Oh my God. Manual. It was just awful, bro. It was terrible. I hated that sumbitch.
Now fucking 30-year-old kids are having bidding wars for that truck.
Oh my God. And it was so stupid
Ford
because
Rangers have reached a mythical status because some hillbilly wrote a song about them.
Yeah, it was bro, but this was back in 94. Yeah. And it was I had smoked out, lights. I had big fat tires, and but it was so weird because I felt like you had to put bricks and shit in the back just to weigh down the rear end of that sumbitch because good luck in the rain.
Yeah,
your ass was gonna be but then I got I got rid of that, and I had sports cars. I had a 350Z when they first came out. But man, I tell you what, when I fell in love with trucks is when I bought a Chevy Avalanche for the first time.
What year?
The last was the last run before they stopped making them. So I don't know what year it was.
That was after they got rid of the plastic door panels. I like those a lot better.
Yes.
Yeah, after they got rid of all the I think it's 05, 06, after they got rid of the plastic door panels. I really like the 06 cat eye ones. I really I thought it'd be a fun work beast is if I could find one like a 06 2500 with the 8.1 liter, the big block in it, you know.
Because I don't know, when did they discontinue making them?
I think it's, man, I don't remember off the top of my head. Probably 2010.
Well, yeah, whatever it was it might have been an 07. Yeah, I think it was a
Chevrolet or GMC.
It was Chevy.
Yeah,
it was like a 07 Avalanche.
Had the cat eye look and crazy looking headlights.
No,
it was 07 when they got away from that.
It was whatever the last run was, I think. But I remember because I had a buddy whose dad worked at Chevy or GM, and so he had a friends and family discount. So I went online, and you could get it. I got it full. The only thing I didn't have in that Avalanche was the heated engine block because I was I don't need that shit in Houston. But oh my God, that thing. Amazing. That thing rode like a dream.
Man. You don't see as many of them on the road anymore. They had one that was...
if they brought it back, I'd buy another one.
They made a Z71, and then which was their off-road kind of four-wheel drive one. And then what's the other? Z66, I think, was the street one. And man, there's a dude down the road from me. It's got a 2006 Z66, and it's been sitting in his yard for as long as I've lived there. And I'm one of these days, I'm just going to pull it in there and be how bad is it, right? Is it just blown out 4L6? The only thing that worries me, my neighborhood is mostly boomer-age Latino, right? Okay? So if a car is sat in a boomer-age Latino person's house,
shit don't work.
It must be screwed up. You know what I mean?
It's beyond repair.
We're not talking about a transmission problem. We're talking about a whole drivetrain ain't available or something. You know what I mean? Because
it is beyond repair.
Those dudes keep vehicles going. You know, they're not quick to give up, and it's clean as hell. They're not quick to give up on a clean looking truck. You know.
Hey, Mark said, "Is a Chevy Avalanche really a truck?" But I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I love that. That thing rode amazing. It was so smooth because
people get in that argument all the time, but it's built on a truck frame. It didn't have the biggest bed, but I just liked because inside it was huge. It was really the same. It was the same thing as the Cadillac whatever Escalade truck. Yeah.
It was
black
pretty
one,
much
what
the
they call it,
same thing. You know what I mean? But it was like a luxury truck more than anything. But then I got rid of that and got a Silverado.
They get in those arguments all the time because they start talking about like the Yukons and stuff like that. Well, it's not a truck, but it's built on a truck frame, you know, which not every pickup is anymore.
Right.
Very, very, you know, it's getting less and less by the day.
Yeah.
I just think if you can utilize it as a pickup and you can do work with it. Then,
I used to haul shit all the time in it. You know what I mean?
I knew an old man that had a farm full of Volkswagen Rabbit pickups, and he worked the piss out of them little Volkswagen Rabbits. And that was a front-wheel drive thing built on a car frame with a pickup bed, you know? So it's like, it's 6 one, half a dozen another. I guess, to me, the question is, what are you going to do with it? You know?
Right.
Are you going to make a... Because I got another neighbor's got a 2022 Duramax. I ain't never seen a speck of dirt on it, and to me that ain't a truck anymore. This is his pavement princess mama wagon.
Yeah, it's a daily commuter. Yeah, he's picking up kids in the school line.
It might as well be a Lincoln. You know what I mean? For all the work it does, I don't give a shit about it. It doesn't enter into my mind when I think of trucks or that lexicon. You know?
Yeah. Oh no, that some bitch hauled many a load of mulch and shit. You know what I mean?
Same token, I cut the back end out of a Honda Accord one time. Used it for a pickup when I didn't have a pickup, and I worked the piss out of that Honda Accord. Yeah, and that was one of the best running trucks I ever had. The best gas mileage for damn sure.
No shit. Ran forever. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I took a maintenance job one time when, man, me and Rachel were early on married, and I just had this little Honda Accord that I bought for like $300, and somebody smacked into the back of it, screwed up the trunk, so I just cut the trunk out, and I would strap my ladder to the top of it and fill the back end with my tools and go to Conroe and do maintenance work all day in my Honda Accord. You
That's
know?
hilarious.
And it was so funny. Walk by it in the parking lot, there'd be all these F350 and F9000s and shit. And there's a Honda Accord with a ladder strapped to the top of it. It's like, what's up, bro?
You're like, hey, I can haul shit too, fellas. Hey, see ya, Alan Denson. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. I miss Donna. She left too. I hope she has a good night. Yeah, see ya, Alan Denson. I hope you hang out tomorrow with us, man. Thanks for joining the show, buddy. Much appreciated. B. Hannah said Honda has a Ridgeline now.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do. And I'd still take that Honda Accord, to be honest with you. I'd still take that Honda. I'm going to have a little bit more of this.
Oh, that's good shit, isn't it?
I like it.
You're not even going to bust open that Uncle Nearest,
no,
huh?
man, we ain't even going to get there.
Okay, all right. That's good shit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like the way that went down.
I tell you, man, that's a good little sip and ride right there.
Yeah, I might have to do some looky-looing in him. I like a ride, though.
Yeah, man, that's good shit. Well, sip away. Well,
I almost got in a road rage incident in a Home Depot parking lot the other day with a guy in a tan Honda Ridgeline, like a first-gen Honda Ridgeline, right? And we were yelling at each other, and things were getting heated. And I was like, if you whoop this dude's ass, you're the guy that beat up a dude in a tan Honda Ridgeline, right? It's not a win.
That's not a win.
If he gets a jump on you and kicks your ass, you're the dude that got beat up by a guy in a Honda Ridgeline.
That's an L. Yeah, that is not.
It's a lose-lose situation. So I just rolled my window up and went home. I was like,
It's your lucky day,
there's
fella.
no reward to this process right now.
That's so funny. That is so
He was
funny.
still yelling at me while I drove off. I was like, you just be mad about it, bro. He probably went home and told the same story. If I won, I beat the guy up in a Mazda 3. If I lose, the guy in a Mazda 3 kicked my ass.
That is so funny,
I like watching
dude.
people's face when I climb out of that Mazda.
You
in the
big,
parking
big
lot,
old
people
boy
always
get
do a
up.
little-
Oh, shit. That's so funny, yeah.
It's always just a real
Dog.
quick.
Big ass doing that little
And I
ass
pop out
Mazda.
quick. Come up there. What the hell?
He's not supposed to be in that. Cisco said Jerry has an open invite to come to wine tasting.
A wine taster.
Dude,
All right.
you need
Man,
to take him up on
wine
this.
tasting. I'm
You need to take him up on this. Take the wife, man. I'm telling you, that's what I did. I took Nora. They're really like becoming a thing, and they're I
remember when Australian wines became a thing, and everybody was all hyped about that, and I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, right. John Dorier said, "What about an '84 MGB? I don't even know what is that.
That's a British car.
That's not a truck, is it?
Triumph or BSA?
I don't know." Titan Hugo said, one more hour. What, bro?
MGB. I used to joke about British cars, about the midgets. I used to say midget stands for money I don't get every time. Because I have lost my ass every time I've tried to flip one of those cars. Every time I bought an Austin Healey or a midget or any of those cars and tried to make money on, I've lost my ass.
Yeah.
It's the only car I've consistently. I do pretty well on my car flips.
Yeah.
I have lost my ass on every British car.
So you just stopped doing it?
Yeah. Man.
Joe Bro said, Jerry said, I got Coke bottle Uncle Nearest at home. I'll drink this different stuff. That's funny.
Coke bottle Uncle Nearest.
Oh, Cisco said number 60 in the world. That's my bad.
Nice, brother.
My bad.
He knows his numbers. He knows his value.
Yeah. Wait. Charles, this is great. Christopher Mina said, a patio show. Yeah, you just showing up at 4:55, bro, for a patio show.
God, you came on Trey's schedule.
Yeah. That is a fact. I didn't think we were going to be able to do this, man. Of all the problems we had, I couldn't get the damn camera to work. I was ready to go, too, chat. They're used to me starting the show at about 2:30. When I do the patio show, it's always late.
It's more. There's a lot of stuff to.
There's a lot of shit to get set up out here. It's not like in the office
Your
where
wife made you mow the yard. And
yes. Yeah.
I came in. I thought he was having an asthma attack. Dude, look how he's
Oh
dying.
my God. But I was ready to go. I was like, I'm gonna be on time today. I had you get here. But I was sat down, right? We were 1:56. I was like, let's go, Jerry.
Yeah.
And I was firing it up, wasn't I?
Yeah. We were in it.
And then it wasn't until
OBS. What's wrong with OBS?
Yeah, and I went to start, and the camera wouldn't work, so I don't know what the hell happened there. But yeah, well, dude, this was fantastic.
Yeah, man, I had a great time.
I really enjoyed this. I'm glad you enjoyed the whiskey. You got your cigar to go. We got to do this again, man.
Oh, absolutely.
You come back?
Yeah, we're gonna do some more shows too, man.
Oh, hell yes.
I told you we're trying to work on that Seguin thing. I'd like to have you on that show.
I'd love to do that, man.
Good deal. Yeah, man, definitely come back and do this. This is fun.
Well, yeah, I'd like to do that. I know the chat would. Everybody had a good time. Mark said, got a drive. Great show. Great interview. I missed his intro. How do I follow him? Which is what I was going to ask you next. Thank you, producer Mark. Bro, I got about 70 to 90 producers.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, I got so many producers you don't even
told
know.
Me that story, you wanted to change it to Barry on Sports. They're like, we don't want to be called sports heads. And I was like,
bro, there was a goddamn revolt on the show.
I
Everybody
started
was
the Wainer thing as a joke, and then they started calling each other Wainers, and I was like, this is hilarious.
Oh yeah, there was a revolt. People were like, I ain't buying no more merch. I'm sending you all this shit back, and I want my money back. I was like, okay, my bad. Shit.
It's Barry on deck.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So tell everybody where they can follow if they're not already.
Jerry Wayne Longmire on Facebook and Jerry Wayne Live on YouTube and Jerry Wayne Longmire on TikTok and I think it's Jerry Wayne Live on Instagram too. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you go to my Facebook, there's like a link tree and it's got links to all the stuff I do.
Yeah.
Ticket shows.
I wish. You know what?
My website's jerrywaynelive.com and it has all that on it too.
I'm gonna type this in real quick.
Now we got a bunch of stuff coming up. We're being hush hush about a lot of things, but we're building a schedule right now to get out and about around the country and do some stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to put some stuff together in Washington, and I don't know where I'm going to go in June yet. I was going to try to do Washington in June, but that's not going to work out. So now I got to find somewhere to make my June happen, even if it's just a theater show in Michigan or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a lot of folks like Northwest and out east? I feel like, you know, doing cars and doing truck astrology, and and maybe this is being short-sighted on my part. I feel like you're huge in the South. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's real big in the South. Like the South is easy, but I like to kind of.
do you have a
I don't
big?
like being cold, so I like to do the South
Oh,
in the winter.
well, I was gonna say, do you have a big? I mean, obviously
Yeah,
you
so
know
that's the
where
great
your
thing you
populations
find out
are.
when you,
Do you know?
start traveling but I have a pretty good following in Michigan.
Oh, that's good.
Anywhere where the automotive industry was at one point or whatever. But Appalachia is a good hit for me. Not just because car stuff, but because Shop Talk, Papa, and all them are Appalachian. I do really well in like North Carolina, up and down the coast there, and of course Florida's an easy win.
Yeah.
Florida I can probably sell out on truck astrology alone.
Right.
Wild. But the only place that I've like really struggle a lot of times are some of the big cities. I do pretty well in Memphis, but Tulsa I didn't sell as many tickets as I wanted to. But Tulsa's also kind of a hipster town, and it's not.
Yeah.
A
lot of people assume, oh, that's just Southern country.
OKC
No.
did way better. Tulsa's the Midwest, basically. It's very mid. It has more of a Midwestern than Southern feel to it. And it's not a jab at Tulsa. I like the Midwest. It's just Tulsa has that feel to it. And if you look at it, it's farther north than Nashville, I think.
That's true. Yeah. I was talking to somebody was asking me about Wichita, and I was like, Wichita is actually kind of a very progressive, liberal.
I really want to do something around Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it. I've got a good buddy. It's a comic up there named James Joanne, and he's out of Kansas. And I've for years been kind of wanting to do something with James, put something together with James. I'm a big fan of him. He used to work with J. Scott Holman and shit back in the days and open for him, and I just loved them two together. J. Scott Holman's one of the funniest Southern comics that ever lived. He had a lot of demons he couldn't keep in control, but the guy was just brilliantly funny, right? Just hilarious, just a room killer. And Joanne's really funny too, and I always enjoy hanging out with him. So I'd really like to get up there in Kansas, do some stuff with him, because it seems that we have a pretty good following in Kansas.
That's good. So do you use like the analytics and shit to kind of figure out where? That's great, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty much what my management is doing right now. Is like we sat down and talked about some places I want to go, and we're just looking at what's going to be the best option.
Hell yeah. So I put your link to JerryWayneLive.com in the chat. Jared Taylor said no Twitter. You're not on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter. I just don't use it.
Okay. I tried to tag you, and I scheduled a post.
Twitter to me is like being back in the middle school bus drive. I'm just waiting for somebody to kick my ass. It's so toxic.
Yeah, yeah. Queen Bee Spice CC wanted to know, are you on Snapchat?
I'm not on Snapchat.
Cisco wanted to know, are you on Friendster or Grindr?
No, but I do have an OnlyMans.
OnlyMans. And Total Dallas wanted to know what's your MySpace.
That's where I sell pictures of the crease between my big toe and my next toe.
Now you're on Footsters.
Sometimes it's dirty.
That's so gross.
My wife's throwing up right now.
Joe Pro said Jerry Wayne seems to be rolling like an unstoppable force. I love to see it. Then he said, the Wrecking Yard is not the comedy special you would expect. So damn good, clean, hilarious, and gets into some deep shit. Yeah, man.
I'm very proud of that piece of work. I'm very proud of the things I said and did during that. So
it's fantastic. And I'm telling y'all right now, man, watch The Wrecking Yard on his YouTube channel. And then get ready for his next special, because I got to see it when we did The Revenant in Sour Lake. My
the beats are there.
It is going to be killer.
I'm really excited.
I can't wait for y'all to see it. I can't wait to see the final product, because I know it's going to even be better than what I saw.
I'm excited because I'm adding some other components in. I'm really psyched about it. I don't have a name for it yet. Right now, I'm just sort of calling it, the working title for it is Mushrooms and Modelos.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm just kind of sticking with that, right now. But it may end up with a different title,
I love it. Yeah, well, dude, this was fantastic. Thank you for coming over and doing this. This was a hell of a lot of fun. Yep. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks to the Wayners that showed up in the chat on YouTube and Twitch.
bless you.
Thanks to the deckheads that came in. Sorry, everybody, again, for starting late. I was really trying to make a good impression on the Wayners and start on time. And the deckheads are used to me being late. They're just like, oh, a typical Barry. But I was trying to get this shit on time. But best late. The devil is busy, y'all. The devil is busy. All right, well, I will see y'all tomorrow. We got a lot of shit to discuss. And I saw, Terrence, I saw your message. Yes, we will do a film session on Jim Jones beating up two dudes on an escalator at an airport. We'll get into that tomorrow. So until then, man, as I always tell you guys, be safe, be kind, and love each other. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.